following story may feel familiar. It will likely not end happily. The people described will likely suffer in their desperation, but they will all be important before the end. Welcome back to the dark future.
This is David Johannesson for N54 News. Tonight, we bring you breaking news as Netwatch has surrounded the headquarters of Ziggurat. Earlier today, sources within Ziggurat were saying that they suffered a massive data breach related to several projects, and it is suspected by our analysts that the two are related. While we are waiting for an official update from Netwatch regarding the reason for the raid on the corporation's headquarters, we hope for a swift, safe resolution of the situation for all involved. As we get more updates to this story, we will keep you informed. Stay tuned.
Hello. It's been a while. We should probably meet and talk about what's happened, and what you found for me deep in the archives, Mr. K. You know the place. See you soon.
Oh boy. Hello everybody. It's me, Emmerron, and we are just, whoopsie daisy, I turned that down too much. We are just a little behind schedule tonight, so I am sorry. Apologies for that. Those of you watching this later on YouTube, of course, it's gonna go up on time, I think, hopefully. So hopefully you aren't experiencing what chat is. But chat, thank you for joining us tonight live. I so appreciate you all being here, as usual. So, we have everyone here. We have Cody, we have Connor, we have Ghost, we have Nyla. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you are here with me as we begin kind of winding toward the end of the season. This is getting very interesting for me because I'm like, okay, how are we wrapping this? And it occurred to me that there are some paths you could take. And I think the first is going to start making itself available tonight. So welcome, guys.
I don't like the way you said that. I don't like that.
It's gonna be fun.
For who?
We just talked about this in the pregame. Like, if it's not fun for everybody, I'm doing something wrong. But yeah, it's gonna be fun for everybody.
Fun for the players, fun for the GM, maybe not for the characters.
Look, they exist in a pocket dimension within our mind palace. It's fine. Like, I don't have ethical consideration for figments of my imagination.
I do.
Oh, man.
I think the Tea Party convention will have something to say about that.
Oh, it's good stuff. Mind Palace. Damn, this is just like Persona 5. God damn it. Oh, that's good stuff. But yeah, we're all here. So, without further ado, before we actually begin, I want to mention one thing. I saw a level 2 hype train happen before I could properly go live and get everything ready. So I appreciate all of that. Thank you guys. Let me make sure that I thank all of you personally. So Diamond, thank you for raiding. Prepperjack, thank you for the tier 3, and Diamond Dust, thank you for the tier 1 with the message. Yeah, that I feel that. I understand that. That's me most days of the week. Although I know the context for you is 14, not IRL so much. So it's good to see you all here. Let me go ahead though, and I'm gonna get us over to the game screen and we can begin. Here we go. Oh boy, here they come. Here are their faces. Awesome. Let me go ahead and just slide you guys into place here real quick, because this is the one thing I forgot to do once we had you all in here. So does anyone want to take a stab at recapping, or would you prefer I do the recap from last session?
If you could,
I remember the gist of it, but I always like your breakdowns.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So what happened? You guys started the session, kind of figuring out what you were going to do to get yourselves inside of a Ziggurat black site on the edge of the city, on the coastal edge of the city. And so you went in and kind of bullshitted, disguised, and silently took down, like, you Agent 47'd your way through that facility. I think that that's not an exaggeration. You guys grabbed a couple of the personnel there. You stole their uniforms, threw them into crates. Like, you were playing it like a goddamn stealth assassination game. And you guys successfully hacked their files, stole all their shit, gassed out the facility with sleeping gas. And before it was all said and done, I don't think that like there were like maybe 2 or 3 people I think that ended up dead, and mostly out of necessity, while the rest of them actually got to live and were taken by Danger Gal for questioning. And I mean, you guys discovered all kinds of fun stuff though, like the fact that half of the important people here were plugged into cryo tanks and maybe have been surgically altered some way. The other half of your important people that were on those dossiers at the briefing in Danger Gal all those weeks ago have been turned into brains in jars, biosystems, and plugged into a computer to serve as, components in a machine. So, yeah, now we get to unravel kind of like, what the fuck was all that even? Awkraven, thank you for the raid. Why didn't it give me an oral notification on that? I'm very confused about that. What? Should have given me an alert. I don't know. It didn't give me an alert, but Awkraven, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Hello, raiders. Welcome in. We're just getting started, so it's a great time for you to join us. So, does anyone have questions about last session or anything else?
Yeah, so like what are the states that everyone is in, like in terms of like whose person is in a jar like as a brain and whose person is like disfigured? Because we're kind of just like leaving the way we came with all of our homies in tow, right? Like all the people that we were respectively looking for. Right. So by the end of last session, you guys all pulled out. Like you guys all extracted successfully. Rook stayed behind the longest to oversee the the lockdown of the facility, and then like the
arrest of people involved, the securing of things. And I believe that at the end of it all, the plan, if I remember right, was to light it all on fire. If I recall that one correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong. But
I do not remember all that. The way I remember it going down was, Rook stayed behind. Everybody else kind of took off after the first batch went out. I think they went off on the first AV, and I stayed behind as to kind of keep the facade going, so that they just kind of wouldn't bug us while we were extracting all the brains and shit and getting them all out of there. I don't think it ever popped off from there. It was like clean out an extraction, and they all thought it was like a planned thing. That was my understanding of it. Like, we just kind of, I hopped on the last AV and said, later, thanks for the shit, and that was basically it.
Because I think you guys extracted all the biosystems between your group and the Danger Gal extraction teams. You guys recovered any surviving scientists, and any biopods, or not biopods, the cryopods that were left behind. So as far as people and who's in what state, Peacock's mom was in a tank and unscathed because they kept her on ice just in case they needed to take info from her, basically, about the project. But she was effectively a prisoner in her own machine. Peacock's dad is a biosystem. On the flip, I believe it was Celsius's Edgerunner parents, like his adoptive parents. His mother was on ice, and I believe there were.
It's the other way around. My dad was good. My mom was brain.
Oh, your dad was good. Your mom was brain, and I believe your father had only had like minimal surgery. Like, it wasn't something where it was like an insane amount. But then Rook and Matchlight, both of your people, I believe, were on ice, but that the records show that they had a ton of, like, there were tons of operation notes where it looks like they had been taken, and potentially, like, some parts of them may have been harvested or experimented on, or God knows what else, because it was just a brief kind of look over things at the time. But yeah, the notes were extensive, and that doesn't give you a ton of hope. That said,
are there any dates on them?
Yeah, I mean, the dates on those files, because once you're away, you'd probably be able to investigate these, and Peacock pulled them all out in terms of the files. So the dates on them, I mean, for 40 and Ember, which are the two people that were Matchlight and Rook's people respectively here, they were taken, from the looks on those dates, right about the same time, about 7 months ago. And they were, I mean, those operational notes go back almost as far, roughly 5 to 6 months worth of periodic kind of operational notes, or, things like that. So, looking
So
at
it seemed like, did this happen after we joined each other as a edge running group?
This would have probably happened. Well, I mean, with Rook, I mean, obviously it's well before. As far as the rest of you, I mean, this would have been probably just before it, because 40 was already missing when you joined up with this crew. So, like, you would probably know that, like, 40 has been missing for some time, because she went missing, I think, even before the bomb went off over Militech. So it's been a while, and it looks like they've held her for pretty much that whole time.
So is it just a crazy coincidence that, like, all of our people are part of this?
Yeah, it doesn't appear as though there was any rhyme or reason to, uh, you know, these people being the ones chosen. It appears as though, you know, circumstances. The notes even like in because they have files that you can look at in terms of like, you know, when they were taken, things like that, that are deeper into the archives that Peacock stole. And so, you know, looking at it, it looks like a lot of it was just opportunistic. They were people that no one would miss, or that at least that was the thought. No one missed these people. They were either transferred from NCPD custody, or they were, you know, labeled as antisocial. You know, they were renegades. They were people who, you know, like maybe they were like at best a small time rocker act or a small time edge runner. And, you know, maybe people miss them for a little bit, but they wouldn't come looking for them. They weren't, you know, friends with anybody powerful. No one that could really do anything to affect Ziggurat's plans were involved with their taking. So, that's kind of where we come to with that.
Huh.
It's funny how that works. Sometimes you all just are the underbelly of society, and they saw an opportunity and they took them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So where are we going then, Chooms?
I think, Nyla, did you stay at the Danger Cow building with me, or did you go somewhere else?
I would have stayed, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe hang out in the medbay lobby.
Yeah, because that's kind of like you guys probably would have found each other then, because like that would have been where like whatever waiting room they would have for family of like patients there. It's small, you know, it's not like it's not like they're a full-on hospital or anything like that, but you know, even they recognize that, you know, their agents have families and things like that, since those are the majority of the people that come through here for treatment. So yeah. So as we kind of begin here, so I think it just depends, because Celsius and Peacock. I know Celsius, you clearly wanted to stick around because like you handed the marble back to your dad. So I know you want to stick around. Peacock, I know you're when you were discussing what comes next with me, you were kind of saying like your feelings on this are kind of complicated. So where would that leave you in terms of like, would you be checking in on your parents at this point, or what would that look like?
Where's my dad? Where's the biosystems?
So they have all been moved to a it's not technically attached to the med bay. It's another section of the building where effectively it's their like technology center, and they're like slowly working their way through the biosystems effectively, because obviously like they are in various states of like shock probably. They've been wired into a neural network where they've all been interfaced together for the last, I mean, some of them last 7-8 months when the project was brand new. So those minds are probably desperately needing help. So right now they're being triaged in another part of the building just because the med bay doesn't have enough room for all of them, because that's just how many there are. But they're slowly kind of working their way through them. And meanwhile, kind of storing them off in an area where, like, you know, they can wire them up at least to some brain dance or something and kind of keep them together, you know, like keep them mentally put together while they await their, you know, own kind of individualized treatment. But like, this is a massive undertaking. Unsurprisingly, I mean, you had a warehouse full of these things.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do the thing I do best to cope, and I am gonna do some netrunny shit, and I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I could upgrade a program right now if I wanted to.
You could, yeah,
I've got 6 hours.
probably.
Could I try upgrading my worm?
Sure.
Give it a +1.
Yeah, no, that works.
Cool. I think I'll do that.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll me upgrade with your interface.
All right. This is gonna be a very funny roll.
Tuh. Yep, that's there's that's plus
Plus
wait,
20.
total mods +7. Where's the +3 coming from? That's your interface. I'm so used to seeing level 4 interface that I forgot for a moment there that you are interface 7. So yeah, no, you're chilling. 20. So 26, that's an easy success, obviously. So yeah, let me reach into your worm here real quick.
I think I would just deduct 10 eddies.
Worms cost how much?
I think like 20.
Because it's the same cost of the program again, is the way that upgrading works. It's 50.
Oh, yeah. 50? Okay, easy.
Yeah. So let me grab
What a blow to my bank account.
Yeah, let me grab your... where is your server deck? Here we go. Worm. Boop. And then we are going to edit this. Backdoor effect value 3, submit, and then change the description to reflect that. All right.
I do need a shit ton of therapy. This is true. I need. Oh, you know what? It's a new session.
It is.
So given that, I'll actually upgrade Maker.
Okay, cool.
So that's 180 for Maker 3.
Yep. And then you pick your 2 disciplines. Anyone else have IP to spend while we're on the subject?
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Okay.
I'm broke.
Go ahead.
You broke. Okay. Oh no.
Let's go ahead do. No, we're good.
All of a sudden I
did,
just see yellow
fabrication
banners and I'm
upgrade.
like, whoo. And yeah,
Don't
okay.
worry.
That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Awesome. All right, cool. So with that in mind, so you spend 6 hours programming away on your on your cyber deck, getting your worm up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
So beyond that, did we have anything else that you were looking to do other than obviously therapy?
Can I start that right now?
Yes, I would say you could start that right now if you'd like to.
Yeah, would I be able to get a speed heal as well before that?
Yeah. No,
For the
you could.
requisite 180s.
Yeah, you can get dosed with speed heal, and the like obviously, like, if you want to keep getting dosed with it during your week, you're also not doing anything super strenuous, so you can kind of be recovering your body every day while in therapy, since therapy itself is mostly, you know, like talking, medication, brain dance, like none of it's really strenuous on you. So like you can kind of be recovering that in the meantime.
Yeah, I'll spend 1,000 eddies and do a 46 therapy session for
Or
a week.
D6. All right, very cool. Speed heal then affords you 12 out the gate, so that's 25. And then by the end of the week, you'll be back to maximum. So I'll just adjust that. But then, yeah, let's see your humanity gain. Roll me 4d6.
/R4d6. Don't fuck me.
Oh, they didn't fuck you. That's above average.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you go
27
back to
humanity.
27. You're only borderline cyber psycho.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Only borderline. Yay.
Yay.
All right. So that's your week. What is everyone else doing during this week then? If we're calling a week of downtime here.
I'd probably go and I'd try to find a Ripper who can assess the damage to 40.
Yeah. Well, so they were all taken back to Danger Gal. The ones who are still in their bodies have they've all been transported to the medical wing for those people, because that is where they have like cryo systems to actually support them. So 40 is still in her tank when you get there. And when you arrive, there's a doctor in the room kind of looking over. It looks like they might just be a medical assistant, knowing that Honey is kind of the one that oversees this whole ward. And so they look up at you and just say, can I help you? Like they're a little confused why you're there.
Okay, so basically 40's been taken there and they're just going to be operating on her and she's going to be kind of unconscious during the duration.
Yeah,
in which that's
it
happening.
looks like they haven't thawed her out or anything. Like it looks like they're still very much assessing her from the limited knowledge you have.
Okay. Well then if that's the case, then I would already have known that I probably wouldn't go over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because if they're just like, but I'd, let Carpet know that I got 40 back and she's not necessarily in like great shape at the same time, about what can be done for her, and hopefully, we'll be able to get her back in whatever capacity we can. And I don't know what else I'm gonna do. You can go to someone else after that. I was just kind of looking at 40 for a bit, but it seems like that's not really a thing for
Right,
me.
yeah, like so you'd probably just track her back to where she ended up after everything, and realize like she's in the care of the medical team in Danger Gal to like try and do what they can. Although like I was saying, like this is a massive influx of people that are like very clearly not in great shape. A lot of them at the bare minimum psychologically, like almost none of them are doing well. Physically, some of them may be not doing great either. So it's, but yeah, that's kind of where things lay for now. So yeah, while you consider, Rook, what are you doing over the course of the next week or so?
I believe it is a good time to finally get therapy.
That's what you're gonna do. Okay, cool. So are you going to Danger Gal, or are you going to a different Ripper?
Probably just whatever's closest, because I know I left off last session. I went back like properly home.
Yeah. So if you went home, I believe we've said that that's pretty much that's not far from like where Xavier and his crew have set up shop at this point. Or no, because your home is like,
my home is pretty much right across the street from the old precinct 1 that we burned the fuck down. Because I remember there was even the scene of like I was kicking into my room, looking out the window at the burned out building as the riots were going on in the streets in front of it.
That's right. Yeah. So that's South Cargo Village then. So so what you would probably then have local to you. Obviously, like Pan and her clinic, or their clinic, wouldn't be terribly far away. They are, because they're in the old combat zone, which is, you know, kind of a hop, skip, and a jump by design from this. I mean, there'd be some other rippers down South Night City, but like, that's probably the closest one that you know, if you're going off of someone that you would know and maybe trust to put your head back together, right? You know?
Sounds fair.
Yeah. So, so yeah, you'd stop in, and Pan is kind of, you know, still organizing like some of the recovery efforts. As you walk into the old combat zone, you're for the first time beginning to see like the signs of like some of the buildings that were really wrecked in the attack. You can see like people are actually starting to put things back together. And sure, like, you know, coming in, you still see booster gangs. You still see like there's some of the areas, especially near the edges of it, are very, you know, very much like bodies on the streets and things like that. More central part of it where you guys were kind of working out of, those areas are beginning to rebuild. And it looks like Pan has kind of taken a role as like a community leader here while you guys have been doing other stuff. And so when you come in, they look at you and just say, oh, so you seem to have all your limbs and your fingers, so I'm hoping that there's nothing terrible you're coming here for.
No, nothing terrible. No surgery needed this time. Just some chemical surgery, and he kind of taps his head a few times.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, after what you guys have seen, after what the world's like out there, yeah, I could understand. So yeah, take a seat over there. I'll see what I've got in the Braindance catalog, and we'll start setting you up. And so she hooks you up to, you know, their rudimentary kind of rig there, because it's again middle of a combat zone, but they've still got her the ability to, you know, provide that sort of care here. So you wanted to burn 1,000 eddies for this, or?
Yep, we're doing the full course.
You got it. All right. Burn 1,000. Roll me 4d6.
All right, 1,000 burned and in the ledger, and slash R4d6. Let's see what we get. You know what?
Okay.
That balances. I'll take that.
12 ain't bad. Yeah, 12 is honestly not terrible. So, so yeah, you go back to 30. You have 3 empathy.
Let's go. The even 30. I'm
Yeah.
a person again.
He's not a cyber psycho, unlike the Netrunner. So
Borderline.
borderline. Don't kid yourself, Nyla. We all know that the 6 gun's gonna flow through your veins soon enough.
Stronger than the 6 gun.
Don't call him a cyber psycho too often. He might just take you up on it.
Yeah, right. Look, I'm not gonna place a stake on that. However, I'm just gonna say what Culture is saying in chat is not entirely disagreeable to me. Anyway, with that said, so you spend a week doing therapy, and so Celsius, what are you spending your week on? Are you just kind of...
No, so all you people getting therapy, man, you guys are all weak. I'm going to first go in a few first beginning hours of this session or the week. I'm gonna go check in on my dad, see what he's doing, see if he's feeling a little better. Just give him a good little check-in.
Sure. So yeah, when you kind of come in, so are you doing this, like, you said you're doing this like partway through the week kind of thing?
Oh no, right away, like this
Right
is the
away.
beginning.
Okay, like the very next morning, basically, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you walk into the room, and yeah, you can see like once they've thawed your dad out and like, you know, brought him out onto like an actual bed, they, you know, they have him hooked up to your typical kind of monitoring devices, you know, things to help monitor heart rate, help monitor, somewhat like they've got a brain activity monitor that like you may have seen before. If you know, have been through hospitals and things like that, which isn't altogether uncommon if they suspect someone's been on ice for a long time, because sometimes that's not so good for the human brain, as it turns out. Thankfully, when you kind of walk in, there's like a medical assistant that seems to be like chatting with him, and it looks like they're just finishing up a test when you kind of walk into the doorway, and your father looks up at you and he just, hey, it's good to not have to be in that place anymore. And you could kind of see he's like still grappling with the new reality he's been kind of thrust into now, which is understandably probably a little disorienting for him. But that's kind of where we start here. So he kind of looks up at you though, and he's got like a smile on his face. He knows who you are, clearly.
Oh yeah, how's it going, old man? You got all 10 fingers and all 10 toes still, huh?
Yeah, didn't manage to freeze him off in the tank.
I just wanted to see how you were doing and let you know we still got some business to do on our end with all of this shit. But I wanted to drop you my agent information so we could make sure you have both your kidneys later at a bar.
And he kind of weakly laughs at that, and he just says, yeah, you know, it's been a while since I had the wonderful sort of swill the city's nightclubs serve, so once they made sure my liver's in top performance, we'll have to get that drink.
But yeah, no, just wanted to make sure you were okay. It's been a long time and there's a lot to catch up on, but I know you've got some recovery to do, so I'm gonna go improve myself a little bit, and I'll leave that to your imagination.
And he kind of like looks at you, and for a moment you kind of see the smile fade just a little bit, because like he understands, like that means like, oh, you're still edge running, and like obviously like you rescued him, but like says, all right, but you know,
I'll see that look on his face and go, hey, I learned from the best. I'm fine. I'm still alive, aren't I?
that you are. And he kind of looks at that, and says, just make sure you stay that way.
I don't plan on dying anytime soon, old man. I'll be back to see you soon.
And he kind of, yeah, that smile kind of creeps back to his face. And the medical assistant, like you could see them take the clipboard that they're holding onto and like make a couple more notes before dropping it in a small bin at the foot of the bed. So with that out of the way, then what are you doing?
I'm gonna on the way out, I'm gonna ask the medical assistant, hey, any of your fixers around in the tower today?
I mean, fixers. I mean, there's always Puma Squad, but I know they're kind of busy running over the data that you guys pulled. So I don't know. I don't know about fixers, but you could try talking with them.
Sure. So I guess I'll head back down. Because who was the person who sent us on the mission again? I completely forgot their name.
Pantera.
Pantera. Okay. I'm gonna try to see if she's in house and not out in the field right now. I'll go downstairs. Receptionist.
They're almost always in the tower if they're not on a full-blown mission, and right now like the mission is getting the city back under like some semblance of order. So if you were to go looking for them, they, you know, you have their contact info too, so they would be, you know, able to receive you up at like the top of the tower.
I'll shoot him a message and then I'll be like, hey, I was wondering if you can help me out with something, considering how much we ended up dragon back to you guys, I'd like to see if we can track down a piece of cyberware.
And they respond with, I mean, tell me what you need. We'll see what we can do. After everything, I think I owe you payment for sure still. But depending on what you're asking for, we can maybe throw that in.
I mean, get a little bit faster if you catch my drift.
Okay. So what kind of speedware are we talking above the table here, Cody?
A good old Sandevistan. Just
Okay.
a good old regular.
Sandevistan, okay. Because I wasn't sure if you were going to go Sandevistan or Kerenzikov, because I know both of them are useful. So, so for a Sandevistan, $500 eddies. Oh yeah, they could source one. They say, yeah, I think we can find you some speedware. That shouldn't be a problem.
Cool. I know you guys are busy here, so I'll probably head out elsewhere to get it installed unless you've got an extra dock. But with all these bodies up in the mid bay, I doubt it.
Yeah, we're a little tight, but there's another guy. Goes by the name Needles. He's not too far from here. Should be able to hook you up.
Awesome. Just let me know when you get that in stock. I'll stick around the building until then.
Yeah, and it's not very long. You're hanging out maybe another 2 hours tops before you get a message from Pantera that just says it's available for pickup at the front desk.
Cool. What do I owe you?
So they just say, I haven't paid you yet. I'll just take it out of what I owe you.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Yep. So with that, you get, so if you go down, you get in a bag, a set of, what you recognize as just like, it's neuralware. So it's got all like these little endings that are probably going to get tied off to your, nerve endings, synapses, all those sorts of things plugged into the Neuralink that's in your head already. So with that said, Needles is maybe a mile away. So it's like just a short cab ride for you. So I'm assuming you're just going to get right over there and get that installed.
Oh yeah, that was the plan.
Beautiful. All right. Let me go ahead and add this. Sandevistan. It has been added to your inventory. Let's see how you do.
It's only 2d6, really?
Yeah, Sandevistan. Kerenzikovs are 4 because you can't turn them off, but Sandevistans are on and off. So they don't permanently alter your perception of the world around you. It's a little lighter on your head. Yep. So you get set up. You only lose a little bit of humanity. You're below average on that. And yeah, you've got that ability to activate that when you feel the need to. So that is available to you. So now,
I'd like to be the first one moving. That's the goal.
Yeah. No, hey, you're a solo. It makes sense. So with that in mind, anything else you wanted to do during the week?
Honestly, I'd probably go because I know we sort of took care of the situation, but we never really followed up on that lead of the other two people. Because the whole reason I got my suit was to have business wear and to go track down one of those guys that would have gave us a lead.
Sure. So I mean, at this point, you recognize, obviously you guys have taken down a decent chunk of the program, if not the whole thing. But there's always room for you to go and follow up, for sure.
I mean, it depends how much time I'd really have left in the week, because that only really take a day necessary out of the 7.
So I would say between visiting your dad, getting your Sandevistan and installing it, we're probably looking at that taking a day, just because obviously, like, installing cyberware like that requires surgery. But if you are looking to if you're looking to do this, it'll probably be another day to get to the club and do that thing, because I think that was your initial plan, right? It was kind of like covertly enter the club and do that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. Just tracking that guy, seeing what was going on.
Cool. Yeah. So by now your suit is ready. So you go back and you got your beautiful 2-color suit going on there.
I've had my suit.
Well, because I think they picked you up for the chase from the, like, you were getting it fitted, and that they still need like another day to like tailor it down, and then like sent you on your way as you were like chasing down Zara. So I don't think you actually got it. Like they were just finishing it up for you. So you are able to get it now, though, obviously, and it's kind of back the same direction you have to go anyway. So it's not like it really takes you out of your way. And of course, the guy you bought it from at Jinguji is all too happy to tell you how good it looks, like how it accentuates your frame, matches your eyes, all the flowery language you could ever possibly want to puke at.
That's fine. I'll just remind him, hey, if you ever need any, like I said, free advertisement, feel free to get some photos and plaster them up all over the city.
Oh, certainly. Yes, absolutely, sir. We would be more than happy to use your fine image to advertise our establishment. Absolutely. And with that, once you've got it picked up, you can kind of go on your way.
Yeah. I'll head over to that club. I can't remember the guy's name either. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So, whoop. My computer just did something very fun. Okay, hold up. Let me pull my notes here, and I should be able to tell you. So I believe it was David Ackerson was the name of the man you were hunting, because he was in charge of the CityNet rollout as it was beginning to expand into other areas and broadening it throughout the city. So he's your guy.
Cool. I guess if I know where he's gonna be, or if I can at least get some intel from one of the clubs to see if he's even still hanging around these parts after the incident the other night, that'd be the main goal, I think, just to see where he'd be at.
Yeah, so the club is Babylon. So if you go into Babylon, obviously there's some very nice, well-dressed bouncers by the door, who are of course going to eye you over. And as you kind of walk up to the door, they're just going to stop you. You got 2 dudes here, big, full of, you could tell from a mile away, these guys got linear frames in them. They're clearly like corpo outfitted. And one of them just looks at you saying, "Well, I haven't seen you around here before."
No, I haven't seen you around here before either. I've never been to this establishment before.
Why'd you decide to come today, of all days?
I'll look myself up and down and go, I'm looking for a good time. Maybe meet some new friends. I don't know.
And the 2 of them kind of look at each other, like clearly questioning whether or not it's a good idea to let you in. Like, because they are obviously, like with the way the city's been, you can imagine they probably are on alert. So at this point, I would like you to roll me persuasion.
All right, let's see.
Okay. That's not terrible. And the 2 of them kind of look at each other and they say, "All right, fine. We'll let you in. But you cause any trouble, We'll be throwing you right back out. That clear?
No, sounds good, man. Don't worry about it. Just don't scuff the suit if you do.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they kind of like begrudgingly let you through the doors. Inside, the bar is something like the Atlantis is classy, but it's still got the remnants of that Edge Runner grunge that it has held on to a little from the 20s. This thing is like you walked into a piece of artwork. The bar is decorated with around the edges of it, you see what look to be you're not sure if they're genuine or just like sculpted kind of faux Grecian columns that make the central bar that kind of is serving drinks out of the middle of the room. It looks almost like you're walking into like the Pantheon or something. And the bar is kind of at the center. Everyone that is kind of, you could tell the staff apart from everyone else because they all almost have this like marble-esque look to their skin. And you could see they've had like gold EM threading wired through their faces. And they're all dressed almost like Grecian like statues. And they're serving drinks and like really small bits of like not this isn't like a beer and wings kind of place, but they've even still got like small bits of food and things like that they're serving, bits, small tacos, things like that, to a bunch of people that look like they're either a few of the people in here look like they just belong to maybe upper crust of Night City society. The vast majority to your eye, though, are corporate. They all are wearing different corpo badges, logos. The vast majority of the people in here you're seeing very quickly as your eyes dart around are Ziggurat employees, unsurprisingly.
Honestly, it's sort of surprising considering what their corporation's going through right now. They're still just in here just partying it about. Makes sense to me, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't quite look like they're partying. If anything, you're noticing that at each table that you see some of these people at, there are small like boxes that you can see, and you realize like while you can see them, you're not hearing anything they're saying. Like everything in this room almost sounds like it's been muffled. Like there's like insulating soundproof tiles all over the room that you don't see. And you kind of quickly realize like these guys have the same kind of like jammers that Matchlight would have probably described to you that he ran into at the other bar, where these are built to interfere with like private conversations happening all around you.
All right. So do I have a general description of this guy who I'm looking for, by the way?
So you'd probably be able to look it up on the garden. Finding him and a photo of him is like, I mean, he's had plenty of interviews he's done with different economic papers. Like business news loves Ziggurat. They are the darling of the tech sector in the time of the Red. So the fact that this guy is in charge of the CityNet, which is kind of their largest product in pretty much any city across the world. His face is plastered everywhere. So when you look him up, he looks like an older guy. It's got kind of salt and pepper hair going on. And he seems like, thin with like a little bit of facial hair, trimmed, classy, the type. Very, very fitting with a suit and bow tie kind of thing. That kind of perfectly manicured, middle-aged businessman look.
All right. I guess I'll do a quick little perception to see if I see him in here.
Beautiful. So, go ahead and roll that. Yeah, let's see. Oh, baby. All right. So you look around, and you don't see him in the bar. He doesn't appear to be hanging out here like some of his other cronies are. the other Ziggurat people in here, though, on that same perception check as you look for him, you recognize that because corporations kind of have this, it's a weird practice, but all the same, it's one that helps edge runners like you kind of identify what they're walking into when you're dealing with a room of suits. And what you quickly recognize is that most all of the Ziggurat employees in this room are wearing pins or badges that symbolize many years of employment with the company. You see pins that, like, the fewest number of years symbolized by the pins these guys are wearing is like 10 years. Like, these are all vets of the company. And there's several in here that are like 20, 25 years. Like that they've probably been around as long as Ziggurat has been a company. Like back in its like very, very early inception, right before the data crash. So like these are all very powerful Ziggurat corporates in here. So
All right. Well,
even though
if
you
I
don't see David himself, you figure there's someone in here probably knows him.
well, that's fine. Before I ask anybody, I want to go check to see if he's in the bathroom.
Okay. Cool. So you walk in, yeah, you find your way to the bathroom. It's pretty clearly marked, gilded sign and everything. You walk in, and there are a couple people kind of in there. But as you kind of like, sit there for a little bit, wash your hands, like splash your face, anything to kind of like, play it off like you're not spying on people. You're pretty sure that he's not here. None of the faces around seem to suggest he's here.
Damn, so no shenanigans today. That's a shame.
Not with him directly, at least.
That's fine. I don't need to rough up some random Ziggurat employee in the bathroom. Their corporate already on fire as it is.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, no, I'll head back out and I'll try to see if I can catch sort of one of them that looks like they're standing up and leaving before I sort of like make a move, and it's like not necessarily bump into him, but sort of just like brush shoulders and say, "Hey, excuse me, but hey, have you seen David around? He was supposed to do an interview with me."
Okay. Cool.
An interview with no cameras and no microphones in my fists, but I won't say that.
Okay, fun. So you walk out of the bathroom and you kind of locate a suitable mark for this. You see a table full of these Ziggurat employees, all of them looking like they've got kind of that stressed out, tense look on their faces, like something's gone wrong. Like it's written all over their body language. It doesn't even require you to be like good at reading that sort of thing to tell like this isn't a good day for them. And you have obviously got some good reasons why that could be the case. So as you kind of walk toward that their end of the room, like not directly at them or anything, but like close enough that you can be there to kind of bump up against the last of them to leave. You bump into a somewhat younger looking guy, albeit he's still wearing a pin that denotes 15 years worth of service to the company. And he, as you kind of brush up against him, he says, "Watch where you're fucking going."
Watch where you're going, man. You see this suit? It's brand fucking new. Sorry, though. I didn't mean to ruffle your feathers or anything. I was told to meet David Ackerman here and interview him for this new line of suits, and he's nowhere to be found.
Roll me acting.
All right, we're dumping luck.
You got it.
It's just 2, but it's still gonna
It's
be
something. It's a plus. That's the important thing.
Click the button. Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh, all right. 19. Yeah, and so he looks at you and just kind of shakes his head. Fuck. Look, right now, we're all in damage control, okay? Like, whatever appointment you had with him, I guarantee you it's off. Like, we haven't seen him in the last day or two. He's been nose down, working on something, and we're all trying to figure out what's happening with the higher ups. It's not a good time.
Well, any way you can shoot me his contact info? You know, he seems so self-important in the time he forgot to shoot me his goddamn number.
And he looks you over as you ask for this, and because you can still see in his mind right now, even if you've convinced him to divulge what you have so far, he's still weighing out if you really are someone that can be trusted with that. So says, I think you look familiar.
Do I now? That'd be the first person to recognize me.
And you could see like a brief flash of light in his eye as something's going on with like an embedded set of cybernetics. And he puts like one hand on your shoulder, leans in close and says, "Watch where you walk, Edge Runner. Bad fucking place to get caught among suits." He just like taps you on the chest and continues walking past you.
I'll just like gently, not like hold him back, but put my hand on his shoulder as he walks away and go, "Look, Choom, you see this suit? I'm a rep for this new company. Edge Runner or not, he promised me an interview. I'm just here to get what I was promised."
Okay. So this guy, because this guy clearly, like, you can see a look of like just malice in his eyes as he looks back at you, gripping his shoulder. So roll me, if you're trying to keep it civil here, which I imagine you are, it's a persuasion check. Because the other side of this coin is a face down, but okay. So he says, "Yeah, you think I was born yesterday? Fuck off, or I will call security." And he just shakes your hand and continues walking. Like, he's not convinced at all. Like,
I want to tail him out of the place.
Okay, stealth.
Let's see. I mean, we're both going the same direction out, so it's not like if I fail, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you're following me."
Still very high stealth roll. So let me roll a perception check of his. Okay. So yeah, you wait just a moment to let him get some distance, and then you begin following him. And so you see him and the rest of that table of people, like, as he kind of like is pulling up the rear here. You notice as you kind of glance around the edge of the door frame as they walk out, that the rest of the group is ahead of him, piling into one of the company's cars. And it looks like they're headed somewhere together. But yeah, as you kind of tail behind him, it looks like there's whatever's going to happen. They're headed back to HQ.
All right. Well, I'll keep walking past him as I'm leaving, and I'll keep walking back down towards like the area where where I came from the tailor.
Yeah.
But as I pass him, I go, "The name's Celsius, Choom. Don't ever fucking forget it, and I will get my interview."
And yeah, he looks up at you and he gives you this smile that is like, it's a threat. Like, he grins and he just says, "Oh, I'm not forgetting your name anytime soon."
I'll just like salute him and then flip him off and then keep walking.
All right. So Celsius is playing with some fire. That's fun. So Matchlight, did you come up with an idea for what you want to be doing during this time?
I think I'm just gonna chill.
Gonna chill. Okay.
Yeah. I
So-
feel pretty equipped and good to go.
So Peacock, would you have sent Matchlight the info you pulled off of the mainframe back at the?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just pass him my memory chip as part of our working relationship.
Right. So Matchlight, if you did, you could go through. If you did want to, I should say, you could go through the information that that has been taken from the mainframe here for you.
What is the information?
And I'll explain. Like, this is predominantly what the project was about: incriminating evidence. You know, all the damning stuff. I looked over Ziggurat's files, correct? While I was in Dr. K's or Dr. K, Mr. K's network.
Yeah, I mean, you looked over the files to an extent that you had. These are ones though that you pulled out of the Ziggurat facility. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What I'm asking is, are there stuff in the memory chip that wasn't in there?
that wasn't in Mr. K's files, 100%.
Yeah.
Or if there
It's-
if there are matching files, the versions that K had were semi-redacted, like some of them pretty heavily.
Mhm.
These are the unredacted copies of some of those files, in addition to some new stuff. So this is like
Yeah.
filling in a lot of those blanks.
Yeah, and I'm gonna flashback. Before therapy. I just look at Matchlight and I'm like, Choom, we got a treasure map to find the treasure, where the treasure was another treasure map, and this is the treasure from that treasure map. This is some good shit.
Spoken
So-
like a true low humanity psychopath. It's all
What is
treasures
it?
and maps.
What
Go
is
ahead.
it outlining specifically?
So, as you kind of look through it, because again, like while you're chilling, I imagine are probably scrolling this to get an idea of like what exactly happened in there. So this outlines Project Gestalt in whole. The aims of the project was to create a human neural network that could hopefully be used to effectively power a firewall that would hopefully be able to protect the city net from things in the old net. Because as several of the supporting documents for the project will attest, they're all here, so you can read through them. The city nets are not nearly as secure as Ziggurat would have the public believe. As a matter of fact, there are several things in here that suggest that to this point, the fact that there hasn't been some kind of mass intrusion by rogue AIs from beyond the city net itself from the old net is a miracle. Like they've held it together with duct tape and string, basically, to get it so that it seems secure. But the bottom line here is that it's dangerously fragile. And so this project's aims were to strengthen that and make it so that hopefully Netwatch wouldn't catch them, with their pants down.
So Ziggurat was trying to use like human neural networks to be able to create another black wall to make sure that the old net didn't encroach on the new net.
Right, because the black wall doesn't exist in the time of the red. So
Yeah.
this is their first attempt to try and solve for that as a try and solve for that particular problem.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll look through all that. And then regarding 40, how long of a time frame was I told it was going to take before she would be operational?
So they were still assessing her. So as you kind of check in throughout the week with them, their estimates start going up. I mean, it's one of those things where first they're like, okay, maybe in the next couple days we'll be able to pull her out. Then they say, okay, maybe next week. Their estimates right now are like it might be a few weeks before they're able to pull her off the ice.
Does it seem like she's in like the place that's giving her the best medical care given her situation? Like if I do my own independent research on who's like best at kind of dealing with like really complex trauma to a human body like this is, like do I trust the Danger Gal operatives to be like the best of the best for her?
That's a great question. I will have you roll. Go ahead and roll deduction, because I think that that's based on like your knowledge. Because obviously you can do research. Okay. So your assumption here is that these are probably some of the better suited for something like this. Danger Gal operatives regularly hunt Arasaka down, and Arasaka is like the ones that like to use Soul Killer a lot. So if anybody is equipped to deal with it in Night City, Danger Gal is far from the worst place that someone like 40 could be. That said, if you have lingering doubts about that, I would invite you could roll a library search and just start to kind of like, because it's like you want a second opinion kind of thing. You can consult the data pool and see what you can pull out of it. That's local expert.
Library I don't know why that happened.
It's okay.
But I do know why. I just clicked the wrong thing. Oh my god, bruh.
Yeah. So I will still say that the local expert role is not a terrible one, because at this point you're pretty well connected in with most of the city. So the library search doesn't yield a ton of extra results, or if it does yield anything, like it starts talking about like, oh yeah, if you go, there's this one clinic in Iceland that is really good for this, and there's like another in Germany that's really good for this. You're not going to fucking Iceland or Germany. That isn't happening, right? However, locally, there are some, shall we say, less reputable. They lost their medical license at some point. Ripper docs that have some degree of experience with things like this. A lot of them are people that you probably networked with for stories on, the changing face of the city and things like that before. A lot of these were formerly like veterans of corporate wars and things like that were either misunderstood or, some of them may have earned their revocations and things, but it doesn't change the fact that some of these guys have probably seen things like 40, and you could potentially kind of look into them if you really felt like she maybe wasn't getting the best care at Danger Gal. But, Danger Gal's budgets are also better than pretty much anyone else's in the city for something like this, with the exception of maybe like Trauma Team or NC Medical. So it's kind of pick your poison at that point.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, then I will just leave it be. And, I think that's mostly what I'm dealing with right now. Is just that's kind of what I'm checking in on throughout the week, is probably just that specifically.
Okay. Cool. So with that said, anything else for downtime at the moment that we're kind of looking into independently before we kind of reconvene?
I'm good. I'm still in the sensory deprivation chamber.
Yeah, you're floating.
So having a grand time.
By the way, Raiders, welcome in. Thank you, Bishi, for the raid. Hello. We are just getting out of downtime. I know we've been live for a little bit, but this is the way it always is after big gig. Everyone needs time to like unwind, stretch their legs, get their brain wrung out of all that trauma, get a little therapy in there. the usual shit. So, with that said, it's at the end of the week that Pantera finally reaches out to all of you. And they simply send a message. I believe I owe you all payment. And perhaps a debrief on the situation as we understand it. So if you would meet me at Danger Gal's headquarters, I'll be waiting in the briefing room.
Okay then.
All right. I'm gonna text in our own private in just a group chat between the four of us. Okay. Real talk though. If she tries to sucker us into another gig, we're saying no, right?
I'm just going to reply to the group chat. ... depends on the pay.
All right. Well, let's see if she pays us for this gig first.
Right. So, I imagine all of you go up to the conference room then, unless there's anything else that needs saying beforehand.
I'm good.
No, I'm good
Okay.
with
Cool. So, with that in mind, you all head up to the briefing room. And Pantera's standing at the front of the room, as usual, monitoring a bunch of monitors with cams all over the city. And for a mercy, it looks like a lot of the chaos that kind of boiled over has begun to die down. Like, it's still not back to totally normal. There's still definitely like the more violent elements within the city in terms of the combat zones and some of the more well-funded booster gangs. Those are all very very much still in full swing. Chaos is reigning those areas. However, the safer parts of the city are kind of returning to where they were previously. And Pantera says, all right, you guys did real good. My medical staff's they've reported that pretty much everybody is going to be making a full recovery. There are a few that are, it's going to be a challenge, but they're working on it. And they look at you in particular, Matchlight, as they kind of say that. And you kind of know what they mean, because like the estimates on 40 going up like that is not doing a lot of good things for your hope in this situation.
So, which is it, for recovery or complicated?
My medical staff tells me everyone should be able to make a full recovery. There are some, though, that obviously are requiring greater care than others. So it may take some time before those are able to really be fully, properly assessed. And you could tell, like, they're doing their best to, like, kind of dance around the side of the issue, but it's you can tell even the way that they're talking about it, they're not 100% certain, at least.
If you haven't assessed the issue, then don't say that she's going to make a full recovery. I know you're not a doctor, but that bedside manner is pretty terrible.
I speak, of course, in generality. There's a lot of patients we've taken on in the last week, and many of them are already showing great signs towards an eventual recovery, and we think we'll be able to do right by all of them. So I'm certainly hopeful that will remain true of even the more complicated cases. Don't give up hope. That
I
said,
just nod.
I owe all of you some money. And I understand that this may not be able to fully compensate you for everything that you've gone through to get this for us. However, you've done a fantastic job. And she sets out, so everyone except for Celsius, you have 2,000 eddies that they hand over to you. Celsius, you get 1,500. And Pantera, in way of explanation, just simply says, you understand, it's 500 was taken for your new bit of hardware.
Oh yeah.
But so they hand you the money, and they look back at the monitors and they say, any moment now, though, the little act of yours, while it's going to yield us a small victory here. And you hear from one of the monitors, you hear Overwatch. This is November Whiskey Unit 227. We are approaching perimeter. And you just hear Pantera from the front of the room say, this is Overwatch. Proceed as planned. And you see on one of the monitors this flood of well-armed solo types begin pushing in around what you quickly recognize as the perimeter of Ziggurat's tall hanging garden office building. And they are pushing forward toward it. And Pantera looks back and just says, we have this well in hand. So.
Oh, shit.
I'll look over at Pantera and go, yeah, I stuck my neck in Babylon to try to get some extra leads, and all those guys were headed back to the corporate. They're probably there by now, so fuck them.
And even though Pantera's wearing their full face mask, you can almost sense a smile under there. By the way that their shoulders kind of relax, and they say, good. And you again hear one of the radio speakers chirp up, Overwatch, we are encountering resistance. There appear to be automated defenses on the premises, asking for your authority to proceed. And you just hear 227 deliver payload. And what you see follow is the lights in the building on the screen just begin to shut down floor by floor, as it looks like whatever was plugged in just gets turned off. And Pantera just looks back at all of you and just says, as much as I would love to have a show for all of you, this is a very sensitive operation, so you'll hear more about it tomorrow, I'm sure.
So what you're telling me is I shouldn't drive over to the Ziggurat building and watch you guys light it on fire, but I understand.
I would stay away from there for now. I wouldn't want you all caught up in the middle of this.
So what? That's it? We're done here? You and us? Danger Gal and us? That's it?
For now, you've done right by us. You've rescued our leader. You've delivered us a massive victory here. So yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, where is she, by the way? She's still with, what's her face?
She's...
Ripper Dog?
She's still recovering at NC Medical, but she'll be back in the big swing of things here probably in the next few days.
Cool. Awesome. Well, guys, is this it?
Do we have time to rest for once? I can't believe even it came out of my mouth.
I was about to say something feels weird here.
Yeah, I'm gonna slap the arms on my chair and stand up. Well, I can see when I'm no longer needed. Who wants a beer?
Everyone's like, okay, we actually get to rest for a change. Peacock, as you all begin to kind of stand up and get ready to file out of the room, you get a message on your agent.
That's what I was. Yep. Okay.
You're like, oh, we get to a piece? Yeah. No, you get a message on your agent, and the number is not one you've saved in your contacts previously. But you just see at the very top, you see like 3 spider emojis, and it just says, "Watch what happens when you play with fire." And one of the screens that Pantera has at the front of the screen, or at the front of the room here, begins to, you see where the power had shut off before, it begins to come back to life, albeit it's wavering. And you just hear from the radio again, "Overwatch, we see strange power fluctuations within the building. Not sure if they've engaged a backup or something, but what would you like us to do?" And Pantera just simply says, "Proceed with the mission. We have to get them."
And in that split second, can I take an educated guess as to what's happening?
You can try, yeah. What are you guessing?
So, Recluse is... I know this is Recluse, 100%. Watch what happens when you play with fire. She texted that to me.
Yep.
Is she threatening me?
So...
I don't think so.
She doesn't appear to be threatening you, but you are thinking that obviously what's on the screen here is... it's a display. And it's like she wants you to see this.
And could I just try to roll deduction?
By all means.
To know what's happening here?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. You're not sure, honestly. This is something where, like, you assume the low level things that you can begin to assume here are that the first thing is that Recluse has probably done something with an internal network on their end. The fact you're seeing power now is startling, because it looks like whatever this agency that's roving in around the edge of the building is, they seem to have cut power to the building before. So generally when power starts coming back up and it's like wavering like that, it means that she's probably overloading something, is like the basic idea you're getting. What that is or how that could, play out is not well known to you at the moment.
I'm gonna look to Pantera and say, Pantera, call off the strike team. Send in a group of runners into the network there.
We already have
Just
runners on site. We already have runners on site. And so
have you made contact with them?
And so Pantera like pauses for just a brief moment, just says, 227, what are our net assets on the ground reporting? And you just hear the radio crackle for a moment, and then like in like spurts of static, you hear runners down, and you just hear Pantera say again, you're breaking up. Down.
Pantera, tell them to get out of there now.
And you see those fluctuations get brighter and brighter, like something is building on the other end. And Pantera just responds, 227, clear the area. We have an emergency. And you just hear, can't repeat. And then all of a sudden, the screen just goes static. And you feel the ground in the building shake as something explodes, not altogether that far away. And you get another message to your agent from that same number, and it simply says, boom.
God damn it. They almost had them. I'm gonna text back. Let's talk with a period.
I love how you specified that. It's like, okay. And the response simply is, you know where to find me.
All right. I'm gonna say back to Pantera. Do you have additional backup squadrons that can be sent in?
Pantera is barely listening to you as they've immediately gone ahead and just say, all backup units, support Netwatch Squadron 227. They were in the direct vicinity of the blast. Get in there, get me a damage report. I need a sit rep now. And they just look back and you say, leave now. And like they are like forcing you out of the room, basically.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Boys, let's get out.
Yeah. So, as you guys walk back out into like the hallway and get in the elevator, I remind you all that this elevator looks out over the western skyline of the city. And you already see a massive plume of black smoke rising from the western horizon where the Hanging Gardens, are.
I need to make a call while we're in that elevator, right?
Okay, cool. Who are you calling?
I need to, well, probably just shoot a message more realistically, but I need to let Xavier know to avoid what's going on like the plague, because it is a Danger Girl hit on a Ziggurat building. That is not something that you need to or want to try and help out with. Just stay in your hidey holes and make sure your crew knows.
Yeah. So you pick up your agent and begin reaching out to Xavier. You have to try and push the message through like 3 separate times as you recognize, like it says, network unavailable, please try again later. Network unavailable, please try again later. On like the 4th or 5th attempt, you finally get it to go through. But there's no response on either side. And all of you are beginning to recognize like your agents are like flickering in terms of their connectivity to the network.
Fuck. At least the message got out as far as I know.
That's good.
You recognize that it's sent from your end, but receive and all of that it's unknowable. You got the message out though. If there's a chance he'd receive it, it's out in the ether.
Yeah. With Ziggurat blown up, the city net is becoming destabilized. Motherfucker. All right, I got to make a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rook, let me know if Xavier responds and what he responds back with. As far as I know, he's kind of our eyes on the ground in this city.
Yeah, usually, but today I'm hoping he doesn't see much of shit.
I hope so too, man. I have to. I gotta tell y'all something once we're out of the building. The walls have ears, if you know what I mean.
Always.
Yep. So you guys do make it down to the ground level without anything further kind of happening. Although once the doors open to the lobby, it's chaos. You see agents kind of scrambling around. You can see that people are like checking their agents. You hear mutterings of like, damn, it's down. Oh, fuck. Like, what's going on? And it looks like everyone's a little bit disoriented from the outage. Your agents are clearly not the only ones experiencing these issues. And that is, you're quickly beginning to recognize like there's a broader scope to the problem here. So at this point, you know that there's a way down to Recluse's that you could take the metro. And there's a metro station not particularly far from the building here. But,
All right.
Calling a cab is going to be difficult with the network like it is.
Yeah, let's take the metro. That's probably safer, honestly, anyway.
What are you
Before
planning on
Mom
doing?
dumps him. Well, my read on the situation is that flickering was Recluse deciding, hey, I'm going to blow up the building by overloading the reactor connected to the net architecture, and doing so while Danger Gal invades, so that I could get a 2-in-1.
So are you gonna go stop that process from happening?
I'm gonna go see what the fuck she's thinking, and if she decides that, you know, this is something that she's gonna try to justify, then I'm gonna have some fucking words for her.
Well, where is she?
The usual place.
How do
If
you
the
know
four of
that?
you want, she's always there. Do the four of you want to come, or you got other biz?
No, I got nothing else better to do. If we need to stomp a spider, I mean, I got the boots for it.
I appreciate it.
Well, just know that a lot of what we've done up until this point has been to secure the people who we just brought home. And yeah, like, the city never sleeps. But this is going to be just another gig that's going to be hectic and lethal, and you need to really know what you're doing, in my opinion. Like, evaluate the situation and let it unfold a little bit more before you just throw yourself in the ring here. I mean, what are you going to do? We're four.
Well, she owes us something anyway, and that's the database, right?
Oh, it was me. We handed her a very large packet of information. I don't want to exactly say that she owes you, but she at least owes the conversation, and it sounds like she's kind of going haywire if she's just going to step in the middle of an op and start blowing things up and doing shit like this, and I hold up my flashing agent.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Right.
And so if that's the case, right? If she's said, hey, I see what you're trying to progress towards. I see your allies. I'm going to kill them in front of you and be, cheeky about doing it. I don't know what you're going to get done here with your mouth hole. I mean, she's declaring war. She's the enemy. So point is, if you go over there, I mean, and she views you as her enemy, he's one of the best runners in Night City, then, you might be walking into the spider's web. Haha.
Has that ever stopped me before?
That's why we're gonna have his back.
That's why I've got my crew.
Yeah, but now you have
Right?
stakes, right? Now you have people who you fought long and hard to get to the point where they can recover, so that you can take care of them. And
Are you talking?
I just think it's... Go ahead.
You're talking about my mom and my father? They've got their lives, I've got mine. It's been too long for me to even consider them as my responsibility.
Well, then what about you two? Do you not care about the people who we just saved? Insofar as being there for them when they finally wake up and get out of this?
Well, I'd like the world to be back to at least some kind of normalcy. So if we can wipe this fucking crazy bitch off the face of the planet, then it's one more win for us.
Yeah, if this spider sinks her venom into the rest of the city's infrastructure, what is that going to mean for all those people that we just saved?
And besides, dude, we handed her the largest database in Night City, and for all intents and purposes, the act that she just committed, for all we know, she went cyber psycho. So those two things together, it's like we can't just do nothing. Like, what are you suggesting, that we just wait for something like this to happen again?
I'm just saying, obviously,
I'm not saying I'm going to go over there and
extent, things have gotten relatively out of control. And I agree that we shouldn't just sit on the sidelines, but I just think we should be smart about how we play it.
Well,
and again,
I'm just going over there
if there is an AWOL netrunner who's rumored to be the best in the city, and they're showing signs of cyberpsychosis or at least antagonism towards what we want to do, and you're just walking into where they've made their den, their nest, it's just, how much is your own life worth to you? It just
Correction, we have the best runner in Night City. That's why we're sending him in.
I said rumored to be. But even if your
so-
talent is better than hers, then you're still on her turf as a net runner.
All right. So let me propose an alternative plan then. All right. Let me propose something else. Let's go to friendlier territory that can give us a little more insight before we hop straight in. Would that make you feel a little better?
Well, what's friendlier territory?
Let's head to Short Circuit. Netrunners hang out there all the time. Maybe they know something.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
And Short Circuit's not that far from here either, so it's about as far to walk there as it is to get to the metro. So
I understand what you're saying, Matchlight, but I hope you know that I'm not going in with guns blazing. Taking Recluse out is a last resort, and at the end of the day, she's still someone who, through this entire journey, has been an ally, and I'd like to continue thinking of her as one. But
Which is
that's
blowing
why
up all your friends right now.
well,
In real time.
Sometimes the friend of my friend is not exactly my friend. So
Plus, you call
start
that
to,
a
like-
friend, really? When things started to go sideways, they threw us out of the control room. They didn't ask us for help. They didn't expect us to come to their aid. They threw us the hell out because they didn't want us in the middle of their op anymore.
this is true. At the end of the day, we're just a group of edge runners to them. That's something I haven't forgotten.
Charlie, if I remember correctly, when we first met Recluse, you said that like she was like in an abandoned, basically like almost like a mall, right?
right, yeah, it's an old mallplex down in Old Japantown.
And that people said that everybody who always went in there never came out.
Correct.
And one would also assume that the net is probably tied to that area, which means that the physical body of Recluse or whatever like Recluse is at this point is somewhere in that mall, or at least we think they'd be there. So
Yes.
worst case scenario, I'll tell the crew, I said, worst case scenario, I walk into that mall and we find that fucking bitch and take her head off. But let's do it your way first.
Because what you need to realize is, even if Danger Gal hasn't been perfectly upfront with us and they haven't trusted us completely and they've done some things without asking us, even though we're the ones who are procuring the most results, they're against Kernigan and Arasaka. And if I have to choose one faction that I'm going to be upset is on the back step, it's going to be Danger Gal more than fucking the corpse. So it's not good. I just want everyone to realize that Recluse is fighting Danger Gal and killing their operatives and killing their runners. What that implies is she may be allying herself with our opposition, and we're just gonna go try to have a conversation with her. That's fine.
Yeah.
But as long as you just realize what's happening, you have the
No,
perspective.
I understand what you're talking about. A little bit of prep never hurt. So I see what you're saying though. Let's not rush in hot-headed, is what you're saying.
Let me make a call real quick. Let me see if I can't find some insurance.
Yeah.
And
Matchlight, you wouldn't happen to know anybody who might know a thing or two about what's happening, would you?
Sorry, you cut out for a second for me. Anybody who what?
Do you have any sources that you know that you could inquire with?
No, we're a little too deep. I'm everybody's source right now.
Okay. I mean, everybody knows something.
I think we're the people who are closest to know anything about this. We're the ones who have the context. You're the one who found all the data. Most people don't know anything about this kind of thing.
All right. You still got the memory chip?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna take that memory chip and I'm gonna put it in my sec vault. The sec vault chip storage, whatever.
Yeah. The good old chip vault.
I'm gonna just keep this in here for now, if you don't mind. Just, wouldn't be good if it got stolen.
Beautiful. So are you guys then, is the plan to go to
Hold on.
Short Circuit?
the call that I wanted to make. Because I think that this could, if this is a thing that exists, this could kind of pop a lid on this. And Rook would still make the call because he doesn't really know, but above table, does the technology exist to essentially like a bug detector? You find something similar to that where you're finding wherever the line is, like for a net arc, and basically like follow the wire back, like something to track it, look for the signal or some shit like that, like something a tech could use to track it back.
I mean, in theory, you could use something like a wireless voltimeter to do that. In reality, it's probably, I mean, you have a netrunner who happens to also now be a tech. And generally, if they ping an access point and then look for where that is, you can trace the wiring back, provided you have the time and the space to do it. So above table, it's doable through a couple of different ways. Whether that's like a well-established, like a bug detector or whatever, probably not. It's probably like a novel tool or something like that that a tech would use, or a netrunner might use. But they've got their virtuality, so it kind of solves the problem for them.
Well, that finds the individual point. I just assume like if Recluse is buried in that mall somewhere,
Yeah.
the easiest way is going to be to kind of trace the line back, and being able to trace it back will kind of show farther than a ping because she's probably inside. I imagine she's like inside of a solid lead brick, so that nothing can detect her. So my plot would be basically he goes into the network to chat with her while we're essentially just fishing the bag into the network and trying to find its actual source. That's like the insurance plan. Like if we have to go looking for her, having a way to like identify and actually search out, because even then, like if at least to my knowledge of her control of the net, she could close access points. Like she could just say "fuck you, you're not allowed in anymore" and lock all her doors, essentially.
She could.
So I would like to put out a call to hire like a 500 Eddie tech to just like that would have the knowledge of being able to like. I would hire them with the assumption or like with the explicit like this is the job that we're hiring you for. We are going to have a net access point. And if we need to trace that back, we need somebody who can follow it to its very end, pretty much no matter what.
All right. So your network is still very much in question.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fuck.
It's not doing great. However, there was a thought earlier to go to short circuit. And so when you pull your agent out and you look at it and you're like, that's right, fuck. The network's not working. Your next thought is, well, we did talk about short circuit, and there are plenty of techs that make that their drinking hole. So, like, the fact that you could go there and do some recruiting on site does raise as an option to you.
Okay, cool. Then I would basically like posit that plan to the rest of the crew while we're making our way to short circuit. I'll say we can probably pick up a tech in here that can trace the line back while Peacock is having his conversation, or if the conversation goes bad. That way we have some insurance to make sure that we're not just stumbling into this blind if things go sour.
It certainly couldn't hurt.
I mean, I'll front the guy's bill, so.
I'll chip in on that front too. We might also, if we go to short circuit, pick up some tools because I know 3-piece is kind of the guy for netrunners in this city.
Okay.
He's gotta subsidize his husband's net running obsession.
Yeah, right. I mean, his husband's a tech, but that said...
Oh, is he? My bad.
Yeah, he is a tech, while 3-piece is a fixer media. But
okay.
that doesn't change the fact that there are plenty of netrunners that also go to the bar. So there are definitely people there that could apply to. Because he'll, even if it's not his husband, he definitely knows netrunners. He does associate with them pretty readily. So you guys walk the half a mile or so from Danger Gal headquarters to Short Circuit, and all along the way, I mean, you hear all kinds of people cursing at their agents. You hear people commenting on like, oh fuck, the riots finally got to the fucking, the fucking garden. Of course the garden's fucking down. The more to you it'll probably appear empty-headed people are just like, God damn it, my favorite show's on in half an hour. This better get fucking resolved. Like, that's what they're worried about right now. So with that, you walk the streets though down to Short Circuit, and the riots, if they're gonna start, haven't begun yet. So you walk into Short Circuit, and the first thing you hear as you walk through the front door is a patron yelling across the bar at what appears to be Brain. And you just hear, look, I don't give a shit what you say. Bottom line is, you operate out of the same neighborhood. There's gotta be some way you know who the fuck did that. Okay? There's no way, with as connected as you all are to the fucking techs and runners of this fucking city, that you don't know who the fuck blew that building sky high. There was a fucking power surge, and now the fucking net is down. So do you want to explain that? Do you want to really tell me you don't know shit about that? And you can see Brain is like beside himself. Like, he's got his hands up. He's like trying to placate this guy, but this guy is like going off. And unlike the rest of the patronage of this place, which are typically, ground level techs, edge runners, things like that, this guy seems like he doesn't quite have a suit on, but he looks like law enforcement. He's got that windbreaker on, even if it doesn't have any logos and stuff. He's got that lawman sort of feel to him, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Rook.
Yep, I was just about to say, as he's shouting at him, I'm just gonna kind of walk behind him, put my hand on his shoulder. Hey, settle down, Choom. None of us really know what the fuck is going on right now, and nobody's really happy about it.
And he just literally knocks your hand away. He says, and who the fuck do you think you are? Look, my friends are fucking on fire over there, okay? And I don't know who the fuck did it. So I'm going to get some fucking answers, or this place is going to get put under the jurisdiction of goddamn Netwatch, okay? Do you fucking want that? And
I'm going to deck him in the fucking mouth and say this shit's under the jurisdiction of NCPD.
Oh, we're going to have the lawman dick measuring contest here in Short Circuit. Wow. Okay. Very cool, very cool. Go ahead and roll me your brawling check. I'm going to roll his evasion.
Oh, I really hope this lands. I want to deck this dude in the mouth so bad. Nice even 20. Let's see what you got, buddy.
The 15 from Matchlight is my roll. So yeah, that is a hit.
Cool. So unarmed melee damage. Bam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so this guy like is popping off, and then right as his last sentence finishes, just pop right in the face, and this just oh fuck, and you just hear a crunch as his nose kind of caves into his face. He says, AC fucking PD, huh? Alright, that's fine. I'll be back. I'll be fucking back. And he just kind of stumbles his way toward the entrance. Do any of you move to stop him at this point?
If nobody else is, I'm honestly gonna grab him by the back of the shirt collar. If he wants to keep going, it's like, if you expect to be back, you're gonna be coming back in a wheelchair. I don't play those games. He's trying to throw his weight around. He's gonna try and come back with his boys. I don't play that shit.
All right, roll me a face down.
I'm actually. Yeah, hey Rook, do you want to take that outside and
Yeah, I'll actually
alley right next to here.
Yeah, actually, I want to transition. Let's make it a brawling check. I want to kind of grapple him from behind and actually like control him and start walking him out the door. find us a good tech, and I'm gonna start walking him out.
Ooh, okay,
We're
roll
gonna
me
go handle
brawling.
this.
Roll me brawling. Easy. Yeah. So immediately you grab the guy's collar as he's like holding his nose. And you can clearly see like blood begins dripping down his neck from like you clearly broke his nose with that punch. And so yeah, you kind of grab him and just wrap your arm around him as you kind of walk him to the door yourself. He's, what the fuck? You're gonna get fucking fired over this. And he just like, you know, yelling, bitching the whole way, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll wait to continue. Or do you want me to keep going with the scene outside? I've already got plans for this guy.
No, keep going, please.
All right.
I'm just gonna quickly interject with just turning to Brain, say, "Hey, Brain, sorry about we're just gonna take out the trash for you."
Yeah, and he looks over at the net watch officer that has clearly been interrogating him for a bit now, and he just kind of like nods quietly because you can tell he's still kind of like in that like adrenaline of like getting confronted by someone that is very angry and actually has some degree of authority over the situation. And you can see the other patrons of the bar are kind of all staring, and their eyes just kind of follow Rook and this agent as they like meander their way out toward the door.
Just double check, that guy who he's hauling out, that doesn't match the description of David Ackerman, does it?
No, it does not. This guy seems very much like some kind of like he's wearing one of those windbreakers that makes you think like he's got a little more authority than your average NCPD beat cop. But like the fact that he's like openly admitted to being Netwatch it's not surprising to you. Like they have that kind of like, we're more important than your average NCPD officer, even if like they aren't in a given situation. They think they are. That's all that matters.
Oh, hey Rook, do me a favor. When you're done with him, get me his ID.
Was already planning on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're the best, Jim.
Yep. And yeah, so I'll continue to drag him out. I'm gonna take him to the alleyway out behind. And yeah, it's time for a tune-up.
Okay.
So I'm going to release the grapple by not throwing him, but just kind of pushing him up against the wall, so he does the kind of back tap, and then yeah, it's boxing time.
And so you're like you basically, I'm imagining, just kind of like pin him up against the wall and just get ready to like wail on him, kind of thing, like that.
Not exactly pin him to the wall. I'm like a foot from the wall, and I kind of push him so that he stumbles back, like releasing the grab in that little bit of space, and then I'm gonna close on him and fight. Okay, cool. So yeah, and he's gonna try to evade this, obviously. So go ahead and okay. So he's gonna evade. That's a 22. He is gonna evade this because like no, he's not. 22 to 23. I rolled a 10. Oh yeah, you have to roll your second bit. Yeah, because it's a manual. So that's 22 plus 6, so it's 28. So yeah, your fist immediately misses him. He says, "All right, tough guy, let's fucking go!" And he immediately comes back at you with his own fucking fist to like get the brawl started. So let's. He doesn't. Oh, no, he's gonna try and do something. It's good. It's good. Yep. So he comes in, and you just feel, yeah, he doesn't have a very high body, as you might expect. So the fist collides with your chest, but you don't really feel it through your armor. Like he threw all his adrenaline and fury behind that, and it doesn't even begin to touch you. I'm going to actually laugh at him in an attempt to face down. Oh, all right. Go ahead. Roll me face down then. Like, I just burst out in laughter. Like, I was all squared up, ready for a fight. And then this dude just tickles me with a mosquito bite to the armor jack. I'm laughing. Oh, yeah. No, and you just start laughing, and you just see, for the first time, like, as that fist lands, and he's got this look of like, fuck yeah, I did it. And then he looks up at you laughing at me. Shit. Is that really all they taught you? And I'm just going to, this is when it's going to get serious. I'm going to engage the grapple brawl, and I'm just going to pin him up by his neck. Next round, we start choking.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Or he gets a turn to try and throw if he wants to. Because that was just for, like, -2 checks.
Yeah. So you grab him up against the wall now, like, yeah, and begin, like, pinning his throat. And yeah, he's whoopsie daisy. He's gonna try and get out of the grapple, obviously. But we'll see. Yeah, no, you got him. So choke one. And, and this is gonna get he's resisting. Oh,
He has resisted. Let's go. Or okay,
yeah,
good.
he does. So he like throws your hand off, and he begins running. Like he starts running down the alleyway, like to try and get away from you.
He ain't gonna outrun me. And CPD tackle engage. Or actually, wait a minute, I would have my dog with me at the bar. Yes, go Sam.
So
You're
you're
just
just
see
gonna.
if Sam gets him first.
So yeah, you're just gonna use your like short range for Sam because it's basically like a Bluetooth that Sam's connected through, so the net outage doesn't affect her. So you're just like, all right, go kind of thing.
Well, no, he's locked onto my Biomon. It's always been kind of set that like, my mentality of it is like when my Biomon gets my heart rate spiking, like I'm getting into combat. Like once combat is engaged, that sends him into his next mode unless
gotcha.
I override it.
Gotcha. So yeah, you hear because the way I'm thinking about this is Sam would have probably like kind of held back near the mouth of the alleyway, the same mouth this guy is currently running towards. So as he starts like booking it, he hasn't noticed the dog at this point, and so you just of course hear attack, and this thing just lunges out at him from the side of the alleyway. Like
I'm just running up after him. Sam just attack. Chunk on his shit.
So, I'm gonna roll Sam. Sam doesn't have a great brawling. But that said, that's something. Let's see.
Sam is the best brawling. This is where he wins it.
Yeah, and
just better.
yeah, I accidentally rolled it on the token, but yeah. So he is able to get the fuck off me, like actually kick Sam's, robotic, albeit for you, this is probably personal, kicks it in the face and like loosens the jaws and keeps running.
Can I
I'm
hear
going to
the-
draw my gun as I'm sprinting after him now. Now this guy gets to die.
Yeah.
He was just gonna get tuned up. No, he just kicked my dog, dude. He's done. That's GG's.
Can I
So,
hear
yeah.
this fucking from the fucking inside of Short Circuit?
Yeah, if you're hanging by the door, you could probably hear this because you may not have heard the scuffle back in the alleyway, but the moment you hear Sam's attack, you would hear the scuffle of this guy with the dog. Just get off me, you fucking dog, and just kicks it in the face, and he starts running. So yeah, you are in a perfect position here to try and intercept him if you want to.
So is he sort of coming like around towards the street where we entered the building from the alleyway?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go back out the front door and just sort of see what's going on and like look into the alleyway. And I'm guessing he's like running right at me.
Running right past you. So like you would be like, to give you an idea, it'd be like you are, if you're like here, right? Like using your token for this, I'm going to use Matchlight to show like, he'd be like over here running up this, like this way out of the alleyway. So like Rook would be, so Sam, let me see, because I'll kind of use this to kind of symbolize everything. So Sam is like here. This guy'd be like here, and Rook, you'd be like back here after like all the movement was considered. So you're like on his heels, but you're a little behind him.
So my real question is, which way is this guy turning? In front of Short Circuit or the other way?
In front of Short Circuit and like down the other way. So he's like getting out in front of like where Short Circuit is more or less, and then making like a left and running away down the street.
Oh, so he's running away from me, not towards me. That's what I was asking.
Right. So like you are in prime position to try and intercept him, but he's not going back toward the bar. He's going away from it.
Oh, I'm doing exactly that. I'm gonna get right up on him and I'm gonna go to grab him.
Beautiful. let me do the following.
And while this is all happening, I'm just gonna ask Brain for an RFID reader. I'm gonna need just one of those to borrow for just a quick second.
Oh, yeah. And he, reaches under the bar and, pulls it out.
You'll see why.
Yep. So, Celsius, you're able to, catch up with him rather quickly here. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to, tackle him, or what are you doing?
I'm just gonna try to grab him by the back of his fucking shirt and jacket and just throw him to the ground real quick.
You got it. Roll me brawling, please. And he actually manages to throw you off. So you kind of get your fingers on the back of his coat and he's able to shake it. Of course, this does slow his momentum down a little bit. By now Rook is
8-move Rook at full fucking sprint.
So Rook, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to hit him with the full-on spear to the back and just try and take him down with me. We're going to the ground on this one. I'm turning his face into paste with the concrete. Fuck the gun. We're going for the tackle.
Brawling, please.
He can't keep getting away with it.
He didn't. Oh no, he did. Oh no.
Yeah, he did.
So again, you're stumbling to try and get him. This is the point where Sam kind of catches up here. And all of this is so this is his brawling. There we go.
Does Sam roll brawling or melee weapon?
Sam rolled brawling before. To try and grab onto him. So the good news is that's at 10. So Sam is going to try and get her mouth around him, and does. So you see as you're struggling to get him again from your side, as you hear the robotic limbs of the Doberman running up alongside you, you hear attack, and this thing grabs onto his ankle and he just face plants hard as this thing starts doing the thing that dogs like
the
to
canine,
do.
the canine,
play like he's a fucking squeaky toy and shaking his leg all over the place. He's sure. Oh fuck! Ah, yeah. This is not gonna go well for him from this point onward, I think.
Good boy, Sam. Good boy. And I'm gonna run up and now it's time to stomp the shit out this suit. Actually, no. We need to establish mount. I need to ground and pound this guy.
I see the dog take him down. I'm just gonna walk over to him and go, don't you know you're not supposed to run from the police?
Yeah, and he just looks up, I am the fucking police! And he just, oh shit! As Sam continues shake him around like a squeaky toy.
But yeah, it is your turn to exile these. If you want to make the first aggressive action to beat the fuck out of this guy, I'll give you first rights.
Nah, I'm just gonna pet the dog and watch him sort of writhe on the ground.
You're just gonna pet and enjoy the synth fur because he's still wearing that synth fur armor vest. All right, and then yeah, I wanna, now that he's on the ground, it'll be a lot easier to establish full mount.
You got it. So yeah, go ahead and roll me brawling.
Wow. That's a good roll. That's what we were waiting on.
Yes, and he rolls, and I keep targeting the Doberman, but yeah, he only rolls a 14. So yeah, you immediately get on top of him. I mean this. You're gonna get fucking thrown off the force. You'll get thrown into a cage so deep.
Bad news. I already did, and I'm just gonna start wailing on him.
Oh shit. Yeah. So
he gets to try and escape first.
Yeah, and well, no, yeah, because you initiated the mount. So the escape is as follows. No.
A 3, you love to see it.
All right.
26, he's stuck.
So, I imagine now it's going to be choke fest 24/7.
No, I want him to hurt. I'm punching him in the face repeatedly.
Oh my god. Okay.
He kicked my fucking dog, dude.
Yeah,
he earned this.
I ain't judging. I'm just like, oh, Yeah, you really want this? Okay. Yeah. So this guy's gonna make an evasion check, albeit pinned by both you and the dog. So yeah, that's not gonna work for him. Roll me damage. Shit. Okay, that's a lot of damage. So you just hear crunch. Second rate of fire.
Yep. There we go, buddy. Crit. Make it last a little bit
Yeah.
longer. I
So
want you to suffer.
the first punch hits him square in the jaw. He's able to like roll his head out for the second one, and now he's gonna try and break the grapple again.
Well, it's a good thing he wasted his crit on evasion.
Yeah, you got it. So yeah, the next two piece here that I know is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, no, not enough.
Just barely.
Yep, you get him. Second hit in the jaw.
There we go. That's what I wanted.
Oh, all right.
Zoink scoop.
Let's see what does the poor motherfucker get? A 6. All right. Yeah. Let me consult the tablets here really quick. So
Consult the elder text.
exactly. Yeah. Let me take a look here. By the way, welcome in, Raiders. We're in the middle of a combat in which Ghost, the former NCPD officer turned independent investigator, is literally punching the fuck out of a Netwatch agent. This is great times. You break his arm.
Yes.
So yeah, you pin him down, just snap down. Ah! Oh shit! Yeah, this is where I think he's gonna die. So please go ahead and roll one more rate of fire, because I believe you still have one.
Is he dead?
Not yet. He's barely holding on. Because he does have armor jack. Oh
Not
wait,
for long.
that was
that was a
accidentally-
damage roll.
Yeah, I repeated. Well, that was the crit roll. There we go. Because I was just tapping up to repeat. Oh, he got you. Okay.
Ooh, another
So yeah,
crit.
he's able to writhe back. Oh well. Hold on. Actually, I forgot to account for the -2 of seriously wounded.
Ooh, so roll his crit and see what he gets.
Yeah, because if he rolls a 1 on this, no. Okay. Yeah, he still does dodge it.
Okay.
Okay. So now he
What
tries to break the grapple one more time.
Once
course.
again.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's still a high roll though. He
Hold
has to 7 up this shit.
And he doesn't. Okay, shit. Yeah. So he really, like, the adrenaline's kicking in hard. He's trying to fight back against you. He's doing everything in his power to not die. And you just see through the bloodied face, just, please let me go. And yeah, this is probably where this motherfucker dies, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him by the scruff of his neck and say, "You kicked my fucking dog." And then the last punch, I want to like let go of his shirt collar so that when I fucking knock him in the face, his head bounces. And this one's gonna hit because I got feeling and intention behind this.
Yeah. Oh no. Hold up.
The worst roll of my life. It's
don't
fine.
know.
I have 2 ROF.
Oh, I thought it was gonna land on a 1. Okay, yeah. So you grip him up, and he's able to like limply just. It's just a fucking drone, and yeah, that's
That's what I needed.
that's what you needed. Yeah, you just need him to tell you it's just a fucking drone, and yeah, you don't take that shit. Go ahead and roll me damage.
I thought I was about to get another crit.
Yeah,
I was
and me
gonna
too.
laugh so hard.
Either way, yeah, you just slam his face in against your fist, and you just hear the bounce and the and just blood begin pouring out the back of this dude's head. He is gone. Whatever this guy was, he is no longer here.
Might I ask you what his body stat was, just out of curiosity?
He had 6.
Hmm.
He had 6.
Hmm.
Enough to
Okay,
pass
then
the
as I-
physicals at Netwatch, but not enough to really do much damage.
Enough to get one-shotted and turn to pace. As I stand up from this full mount and I go to like step over his body and forward and like turn around to search him, I'm just going to stomp his head. GG's.
Just axe kick, yeah.
No,
So-
like just a full-on stomp, like I'm stepping really
yeah.
hard, like there's a bug, because that's
Yeah.
what he is. Netwatch
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah, not fair. So,
I'm gonna While he does that, I'm gonna peek my head in the short circuit. Anybody got a fucking hose or a mop or something?
I just tarot the fucking already dead head. Stop. No.
So that's the thing. Even if I did start rolling death saves, that would have sealed the deal right there. So I'm not going to pull the tarot on this because that's
kind of a waste.
I want it to be earned, right?
Yeah.
But that is still, that proves the fucking point either way here. So yeah, even if I made him roll death saves, that would have sealed the deal right there because that's 21 damage. Holy shit. Wait, that's 21 on the dice. That's not even with the crit in place. So that's actually 26 to the head. That guy's gone.
That's GG's friend. And yeah, I'm just gonna call him Netwatch trash, and then I'm gonna run his pockets and take quite literally anything of value before dragging him and dumping him in the dumpster.
Yep. So this guy did have a regular quality heavy pistol. Full loaded with 2 extra mags of ammo. He has an agent, he has some handcuffs, he has a bug detector, and he has his ID, obviously.
Yeah. Strip everything, dump him in the dumpster out behind the bar, and then I'm going to go back in and toss the agent, and I assume his ID is in his wallet, so I'll just toss his agent and his wallet to Peacock and say, here you go, everything useful for you.
You're a peach.
And then heavy pistol ammo. Let me see. You have a heavy pistol. I think you do.
All right.
You do.
All announced.
Sorry about that, Marine. How's biz?
I mean, before that motherfucker walked in here and made my patrons fucking terrified, great.
Yeah. Actually, about the thing he was pissed off about, do you think we could talk in private?
Yeah.
Would that be possible?
Yeah. So he guides you upstairs to one of the VIP rooms, and you just, right before he does, he puts a sign out, be back in 5 minutes. Just to put something out there. And the patrons look at him understandably, and they just kind of nod. They're good with this.
Yeah.
And
I wish I was coming to you in better circumstances, as I usually do. But city's kind of fucked right now. Net's kind of fucked, actually.
Yeah, you could say that. What's the thing you need help with?
It's let me ask you a question. If it's pertaining to it, it's a bit sensitive. You understand? 3-piece might want to know though. Where is he, by the way? He's not out there, is he?
Last I checked, he was in a meeting upstairs.
Okay. Well, Recluse?
I know stories. None of them particularly good.
Yeah. Heard any rumors? And I assume Matchlight is in there as well with me, right?
Would you have followed him in Matchlight?
I'm muted. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I want my media to hear all the juicy, gory details.
Yeah. So the question you're asking him at this point is what then?
If he's heard anything recently about Recluse within the past few days, past week, let's say.
I mean, not really, no. Most of the stuff I've been hearing, I imagine, is probably why fine gentleman that's probably turned into paste on the pavement outside the bar. Why he was in here today. I have some idea about that, but I don't know what Recluse would have to do with that. Let's just say Netwatch has been sniffing around the neighborhood. There have been a couple of couple of people, netrunners, that have come to me concerned. And no
About
one's
what?
quite been, well, no one's been able to figure out why Netwatch is in the area. And, well, usually when they come sniffing around, it's a bad time for anyone with wires in their brain. So, you know,
Right. What,
people with
they
projects-
never bothered short circuit before. Yeah.
yeah, so,
All right. Well, take this with a boulder of salt. All right. And there's no evidence to support this, but call it a gut feeling. I think Recluse is behind what's up with the events of today. I just don't know any other runner that can do what happened at Ziggurat headquarters.
And Brain is looking at you and he says, I'll be honest with you. I've been at the bar most of the afternoon and I felt a shake, but what happened in Ziggurat headquarters?
Is there a TV in here? Or, you know what? I got my agent on me. It's probably in the news stories.
The networks are all fuzzy.
Shit. Right.
That's, yeah.
That's
All of the carrier signals have kind of been knocked out because of that. So, like, he says, I mean, you know, like I would normally check my agent or the, you know, TVs at the bar, but they all went offline probably about that same time. So,
Matchlight, your helmet was recording while we were in the elevator, right?
Yeah, probably.
mm,
You want to show him the videos, maybe some images?
Yeah, I will kind of detail, like, I'll contribute relevant moments to support.
Yeah.
mm.
Nothing suggesting that we worked with Danger Gal, because that's a need to know basis sort of deal.
Yeah.
Right. So, you pull the video up off your helmet onto your agent and show it to him. And as he looks on, he says, oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. Net's down. And this was not a coordinated effort from a corp. We know that. This was a highly specialized, highly capable netrunner. And I think at this point, you know, without blowing too much smoke up my ass, some people would assume it was me, but I can tell you right now it wasn't.
Source, trust me, bro.
Source, I got a meteorite here who saw me not be there. Trust me, bro.
Hey, you gotta trust me.
Yeah.
Matt, this guy can attest to it.
Yeah. No, and I mean, he shakes his head. He says, nah, you wouldn't be standing here with me talking and asking questions if this was you.
Yeah. You, I'm just thinking in my head about runners do it, you know, there's the ones who aren't dead and probably shoved in a refrigerator somewhere is probably Recluse. If I had to give a guess.
I mean, that or, I don't know, nation state. I mean, we're talking big. Something happened here that is bigger than you and I and all of that.
Well, Recluse, while, you know, Recluse was the person who actually made this happen, more than likely, as we're discussing, it doesn't mean that there's no corporate involvement in it. And so, pretty much, if you want to actually be able to parse through this and nip it in the bud before it becomes a larger thing that already is, we probably need your help to establish a connection between what Recluse's motivation and angle is for doing these things and who they're working with, because it just doesn't make sense for them to be working for themselves and target, you know, target this building.
I guess we want to know is the why of it all, you know? Why now? What's so special about now for when to do this?
I mean, I imagine.
So even if you're not that person who knows or can speculate, maybe you know someone who does.
I imagine the only person who really knows the reason is Recluse herself, but I mean, I'm happy to contribute any resources that you may need to investigate this further. If it's something that makes sure that I can keep safe, my family stays safe, you know, hopefully the bar keeps running eddies into our pockets so we can keep surviving.
Well, what can you do from remote?
Without the net,
I mean, forgive my ignorance, I'm not a runner, but
yeah, without the net, not
understand.
much. But I mean, I know people. Certainly, there's some people in the bar there that know a thing or two about engineering, net architectures, things like that. So, if they
I
might
always
be of help.
thought that
There's-
Recluse was. Go ahead.
There is something actually you can help me with, Brain. I just thought about.
Mm.
And I'm gonna take out Recluse's upgrade. Could you- All right. This is a cyberdeck hardware that has the capability of remotely transferring data across the city net.
Mm.
Can you reverse engineer the destination IP? And maybe, just maybe, we can have it so that data that flows to the destination can become the source.
Let me see. And he says I'll need to go grab some things because obviously what you're asking for is a little specialized. But give me like,
Ask me, I'll help you.
yeah, give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna just go grab some tools and let 3-piece note of me in the bar while I'm up here helping you. And
10-4.
yeah, so he leaves the room. You know, he wanders off. Anything from Rook and Celsius while this is all happening?
No, I'm just chilling out at the bar, just sort of people watching and seeing what's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like uneasy
Oh, that's
murmurs.
a good thing to do. Does it look like anyone's being like suspect? Or having a meeting with like people who could be, you know, implied to like know more about this kind of thing?
Roll me. So Celsius, roll me human perception.
Or do you mean Matchlight?
Well, Matchlight is up with Peacock up in the VIP room. So he's not in the same room you are. Okay. So looking across the room, you don't see anyone suspect. But there are those uneasy like murmurs, where you hear things like, is everything gonna be okay? Like, the net's down. This hasn't happened in a long time. What the hell's happening? Like, you know, the general uneasiness of like people that are clearly not, they don't know what's happening, and they are worried about, you know, what is going on exactly. So, but yeah, you don't see anyone suspect, you know, and otherwise, you know, it's just uneasiness, people kind of nursing whatever drinks they had beforehand. After a little bit, you see a man in a suit come down. You recognize this to be 3-piece, and start manning the bar. And the uneasiness begins to ebb a little bit, although you can see that the same kind of unease is written across 3-piece's face. that maybe most of the room was feeling a moment ago. So while the rest of the room eases into some sense of like, okay, like the worst is past for now, like you can clearly tell 3 pieces is concerned. So after those few minutes pass, though, Peacock and Matchlight, you see Brain come back, and he's got a laptop along with a couple of specialized tech readers and things like that. And he takes your hardware and plugs it into one of the devices, and begins kind of running it through the computer. So I am now going to roll a check for him here real quick.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Yeah, so he begins trying to go through it. And as he begins trying to decipher code, suddenly you just see the laptop screen flash off, and you see like a little ASCII spider just kind of crawl across the screen slowly, and then you just see as like sparks emanate from the thing. Well, shit. Yeah, that didn't go great.
Hand me that.
And he hands it over to you.
All right, let's see. I assume it just shorted it. I'm gonna see if I can't fix it.
Well, the computer shorted actually. So the thing may also have shorted, but the whole computer flashed off, and then just there was like a small spark right by the base of the monitor as it just kind of like is it's slowly rolling out that acrid electronic smoke of a PCB getting burned.
Done. Do you have a second laptop? I think I can try to. I think there's some sort of like fail-safe in case it gets installed into an unauthorized computer. I'll see if I can bypass it.
I think that might have been our last one.
Come on, you can't say you only have one computer.
Oh, I mean, look.
So I'll hear this conversation, look over at 3 pieces. You're telling me you don't have some computer stored somewhere? I know you watch some pretty fucked up brain dances. Come on now.
And so, so you guys are in separate rooms. So like they're up in a VIP room.
Oh, are they still up there? I thought 3 piece came down to the bar.
3 piece came down. Brain is the one that they're talking
Oh,
to
he's talking
upstairs.
Brain.
Yeah. So brain by way of explanation though looks at you and says, "Look, 3 piece has one. If this happens to his though, he's gonna kill me. He has so much stuff on his like broadcasts for his web series. Like if I break his computer, like we're talking marriage ending type shit. Okay, like
okay, is there a vendit around the corner? A computer's like what, 50 eddies?
50 eddies, yeah. There are some electronics stores in the area you might be able to pick one up from, yeah.
Just I'll go pick one up. It's fine. Just
Okay.
give me a second, all right?
Yeah. So those of you at the bar would see Peacock kind of coming down the stairs, maybe with a little bit of frustration written on his face, whether he realizes it or not.
I'll be right back. And I'm gonna go get a computer.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll come back and I'm gonna try to do this check.
Yeah.
Could I attempt to use a complementary skill in the way of cryptography?
You could, yes.
All right, to understand the failsafe.
Yeah, you absolutely could. So you boot up the same kind of scanner program that Brain was using, because he thankfully does keep backups. So like once you get back with the laptop, you kind of seat it back into the same tech he was using. And as you begin running through it, yeah, there's an access failsafe that just basically overvolts the power supply on the computer that is trying to access it if it detects like an unauthorized access from a user.
And I am also going to just take my time.
You got it.
This as well.
+1 complimentary, +1 on taking time. Easy. Yep. So you have a little bit of an easier time going through and starting to piece this thing apart. So what you find is, yes, this thing, it's got a couple of features as you kind of begin digging through the code. The first thing you detect is what you expected to find, obviously. It's a secure transfer protocol that basically can fire data through quite a large number of like minor networks that are kind of all interlinked. You're kind of recognizing, like, as you look at like each kind of IP that this thing's programmed to send through, they're like all a bunch of tiny like carrier hub kind of signals. As you like ping off each one, you kind of begin to develop an idea of like where these are. They're not major buildings or anything. They're like literal like tiny routers. It's like a botnet that's been built. And so,
and I'm like thinking in my head, like, Recluse wouldn't just destroy her, web of, nets. She would, keep a little slice of the pie for herself.
Yeah. So the first thing is that this is a protocol that just splits the files up and like distributes them across the botnet so that they can trickle back down to her a little more easily. And then the other side of this, it has an overvolt module, which is also the failsafe. But it has a second function, which is like if the netrunner who has this plugged in, you recognize like this would be enough to like stimulate like the nervous system enough to like jolt your heart back if you were to go down while this thing was running. So she gave you like a second chance, but it would like fry the module if it went full send with it. To fry a computer, it only needs like a fraction of it. But like...
Oh, damn. So she made a pocket defibrillator.
She did. And packaged it in
Got
like
it.
this. But yeah, that's like the two parts of this that you're detecting.
So my question is with, given my intuition, if I know the destination and I know the path, then theoretically I can reverse engineer it to source data from there as if I was cloning a repo.
You could try. You'd probably still need to know what you're targeting on the other side, because you could get to the file or the file system, but knowing where it's broken down is the hard part.
Oh, I know exactly what I want. I want the database.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying you don't know if Recluse has maybe shuffled it around, renamed it, done anything to like make you directly targeting that more difficult remotely.
All right. I mean, it's worth a try, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What am I rolling? What am I rolling, GM?
Roll me some field expertise, electronic security tech.
I have no field expertise.
Damn it.
So, what I will do is put 2 luck into this.
You got it. Okay. So, you're able to, like, reversing the program's the easy part. Because obviously you're just flipping the IP that you're sending from and the IP that's receiving. And then just, like, rewriting the protocols to transfer things away. So you try to, and I assume like after you rewrite this, you're trying to run it just to like take back the data, right? Or copy data over.
before I do that,
Hmm.
there is one thing I want to try, because you're right. I don't know what she's done with the data after it. However, could I try to figure that out with my brain? How would would I have enough knowledge to know and have an inkling of, like, maybe I can parse some of the metadata coming through?
Like you use that as like a
You know,
signaler kind of thing?
like looking at file size, for example. If I know file size, I know this is a big file.
Right.
I know that this is a database. There can only be so many extensions, file extensions it has. There's date created. There's, I want to look at like files.
So
The dates they
basically,
were created. Yeah.
so basically, you want your program to like look for flags other than just file name to like try and pull the right data, even if she's like renamed it or moved it around in her file system or something like that. From like where it got dropped off initially. Got you. Okay. So, I mean, you would definitely know enough about that to make some educated guesses.
Okay.
So, what I'm gonna do is this. Roll me your interface. We're gonna treat this like a control check, basically.
Okay.
Okay. So you reach through the network and try and yank out the data, and your program's able to locate it. But before anything starts downloading, the screen on the laptop flashes again. But this time, instead of that little ASCII spider start crawling across it, instead you see, no, Peacock. I said we'd meet.
You bitch.
And then, of course,
Right.
as the laptop goes up in sparks.
I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Recluse and just say, "You're no fun."
And you see the message go through, but you don't get a response.
Yeah. All right. I found out what I needed, and Three-Piece gets to keep his fanfic or whatever.
Yeah, right. It's his work, but to each their own, I guess.
Yeah. No disrespect.
So,
right. We wanted to find a tech here, though, right?
I believe that was initially the plan.
That was part of the plan, was finding a tech that could like use the hardware to trace it back with, because where like the meetup point is, where she kind of let you in at the front of the mall to like talk to her in the network. I think that at one point we kind of were flies on the wall while you went to meet her. We just kind of saw you walk up and jack in, but a tech who could essentially follow that hardware back to its source.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna ask Brain. You know any techs looking for work here?
I mean, there's a couple. Got a new kid. Calls himself Watts. I don't know why the fuck you pick a gong handle like that, but I mean, first time he came in, it looks like his hair was standing on end, so I have some ideas. And I don't think maybe he picked his handle. But he might be able to help you out. Knows his way around electronics at least.
All right. Well, is he bright? Is he good?
I mean, he's new. A little unproven, but it just depends what kind of work you've got him doing.
Anyone a little more, experienced? Someone who's willing to do something a little crazy?
I think It depends what your budget is. You got the budget for willing to do something crazy and good. That's one thing. It's usually you got to pick one. So tell me what your budget is, and we can maybe talk about it.
I'm willing to put down 500, and so is my buddy. So, what can I get for 1,000?
1,000. 1,000 might get you Switch. Guy is kind of like you, a little bit techie, a little bit of a wirehead. Plays both lines a little bit. He'd probably get you what you need. Like Watts, he's like not exactly what we call super experienced, but he's not quite as green either. Seen a little bit. Can do a little bit. I've seen him do some work. This is, I think any tech you get involved with something like what you just showed me is going to have some reservations, but for $1,000, I bet he'd be willing to help out. And he might just be crazy enough to not make a complaint about it.
All right. Well, point me out to him, and I'll talk to him and consult my buddy, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he said he's good enough and he's worth the money.
So, Brain leads you guys down to one end of the bar where you see a man kind of leaned back, and you could see he's wearing like just a little bit of a what's the word? Kind of like a jacket, sort of. It's like one of those shawl-like jackets, something to keep him just a little warmer, over what is clearly a bodyweight suit. Nursing a drink, and Brain just looks at you all and then says, "Hey, Switch, got you a gig. Pay sounds about right. 1,000 eds." And the man kind of lifts his eyes up to look at you guys. And you can clearly tell his eyes are very much cybernetic. They aren't the typical like glowing bulbs of light like Celsius has. But they definitely have like mechanics kind of flittering behind, something resembling like real irises, pupils, that kind of thing. Like they've been kind of half put together, or maybe they've been upgraded. You're not sure. But he looks at you and just says, "All right, what's the gig?"
You're just gonna accompany us to go visit a Netrunner's dweller.
Okay. What exactly is
What
my
do you
role
mean,
in all
right?
this?
What was that? Matt?
You're our bloodhound.
Okay.
Our wirehead friend here is going to go in and try and have a nice friendly conversation, and well, if the conversation isn't so friendly, that's where you come in.
Yep. Basically, Choom, I'm going to be handling the net space while you handle anything net space related in meat space.
Okay. I'll
Sound like your speed?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it just depends what's our target?
Well, well, that's the fun part. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
I'd like to know the spec.
Well, the bad news, then. So we're going into the nest of Night City's finest netrunner. The good old spider herself.
All right.
Now, the good news is that you're talking to someone who's walked in there and is on friendly terms. So, everything goes well, you're going to get an easy 1,000 eddies. That doesn't happen in this city. Now,
You're right, it doesn't.
And everything turned. everything turns sour, you have me who's dealing with her primarily, and then all you're doing is disabling anything that comes up in meat space. And meanwhile, you have these three to watch her back.
All right.
And like I said, if things start to get messy while he's fighting her and keeping her occupied in nest space, we're going to be trying to track her down in meat space, and that's why we needed somebody. And I kind of hold out my hand, gesturing to him with a little bit of tech experience that knows what to look for.
So, what I'm hearing is you're offering me 1,000 to walk into the den of a netrunner that is rumored to leave no one alive on the other end of their encounters. So, in response to your spec, the good news, the bad news, all of it, bad news for you is it's going to cost you double what you've offered. The good news is I'm willing to come with if that's agreed upon.
Counter offer, I'm going to kind of chuckle. You know, our rep isn't exactly that great either, and I would like to make a rep check on him to see if he, basically to have him gauge us a little bit higher so that he knows that we can actually kind of look after his shit.
Sure.
So it's not so much of a risk for him.
So I'll okay. So he looks over all of you and he okay. Think you guys look familiar. Wait a minute. He looks at you, Matchlight, and he's like, I saw you in the Screams about a month back. Something
You're very perceptive. You're a singular
a singular what?
entity.
Yeah, and he says, so, you plan to create a her place like you did the NCPD?
I don't know. I mean, Peacock wants to have a conversation. So no, I don't think I'll crater it if it doesn't need to be cratered. But I think it's cute that you think I'm the one doing the cratering. Makes you feel good.
You were the guy who got up in front of the camera, made sure that none of us forgot it was you.
Yeah. It was pretty
And-
easy to walk in front of the camera. It's a lot harder to, get the charges set up and everything.
Meanwhile, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And to do the net run, and I point over at Peacock.
I just give a little
Okay.
wink.
All right. So your crew's
You know,
got
drummers
some...
write like 50% of the songs for most bands.
Yeah. So Switch looks you guys over and is just like thinking about it. Says, all right. So if you're the crew that did that, meet me in the middle. 15.
15 if you take a bullet.
Fair
If
enough.
it's an easy ride, you get 1,000. But if we do get into some hot shit and we all make it out all right, I wouldn't mind cutting you off a little bit extra.
I'll take that. 500 insurance. And he raises his hand out to shake yours.
Nope, I'll shake on it.
Beautiful. All right. Show me to this little nest.
All right, let's load it up, boys.
Yeah.
We're in for a wild ride, friends.
All right.
Can we get road beers on the way? I feel like this is one of those days.
Yeah. I mean, if you even asked Brain for him, he'd hook you up.
Nice. I'm gonna get one of those classic blue crates of beers. Just
A road soda.
Road soda. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I mean, you guys
sober.
are taking the metro down anyway, so it's not like...
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's not like you guys are driving. You can
Yeah.
just take a crate of this shit in there with you.
Oh.
Encyclopedia's bigger
Yeah,
fish to fry right now.
Public debauchery is legal. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, anything's legal if you don't get caught.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with
I'm just gonna text Recluse that yeah, my chooms are coming along. By the way.
and the response you get back to that is, I hope they're bringing some party favors. We need to celebrate.
That's weird. That's really weird. Is that enough to warrant like a... What's going on? She's sending back some really weird shit. Weirder than usual. That's weird. Give me
really?
some little taste.
Oh, really? That's where you draw the line. She blows up the building, sends you cryptic messages, and says boom in time with explosions. But no, her saying, make sure to bring party favors. We have to celebrate.
Well,
that's the sending.
No. Because, listen, her blowing up a building is in character. She is now talking to me differently, and that's a way bigger red flag to me.
Fair enough.
There's like a way someone operates that I'm like, if you deviate from that, there's something up. So DM.
Yeah.
Would this, at this point, could I just try to like be like, is something up with her? Like, do I have an inkling of something like that?
Roll me deduction.
You got it, Choom.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
So, you definitely get the sense that yes, something has changed here, obviously, right? Like, something's not the same as it was like a month ago when you were really starting to have these conversations about going in on Mr. K and all of that. It was very short, to the point, very business-like, very professional. It's hard to tell exactly what has changed, but what you are gleaning out of this little bit of thought into this is that it's possible that, who knows, Recluse has always kind of maybe had her own agenda. There might have been a change there. There's also the very real possibility, maybe, you know, some of your friends here are right. Maybe she went off the deep end and went cyber psycho. You're not sure.
Yeah, that would be, yeah, why would she text me out of the blue and ask to meet? That's not her style.
I mean, we're already bringing beers. We might as well just bring more.
Yeah, I'm gonna text back, do you want a beer?
Yeah, we do have party favors. We're bringing beer.
You want a brewski?
Yeah. And
You want some Choom Light?
She responds with, not really my speed. Not really my speed. Slows me down too much. Need to go faster.
I shake my synth coke baggie.
Yeah.
I've got us, guys. Don't worry.
Has she been hitting 6-gun?
Oh yeah, she could be hitting a shit ton of 6-gun.
Oh shit.
That's true.
Damn. Alright.
If so, that was pretty clever. How that was, you know, I need something to go faster.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking because Peacock's had experience with 6-gun.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know how it fucked up your head too, because you started getting all kinds of like fun hallucinations and like auditory like voices that weren't there. And like
before we go, hey, 3-piece. Crazy question. And I'm basically going to ask for some immunoblockers.
And he,
You know.
so you're just gonna ask him like, "Hey, have you got any of this in stock, like antipsychotics or things like that?"
Yeah, my head's been fucking with me, dude.
I mean, some of the local tech's been brewing up something lately, but I mean, people who took it says it kicks back almost as hard.
That's okay, man. That's okay. It's an emergency kind of thing, you know. If I start slipping off the edge, you know what I mean. Runners, it happens all the time. Gotta have something. Emergencies, break in case of emergency kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've got a connect to some of that. Give me a minute. And he walks over to the corner of the room and talks with one of the other techs, who slips him. You can see like a small case, and he passes him some eddies. And he says, doses of this shit don't exactly come cheap. So, how much were you hoping for?
And just a dose.
500.
500.
It's the price.
All right, Shum. You know, you done right by me. So,
He's robbing you blind right now.
Yeah, I know. What am I gonna do, man?
So let me.
Because I believe immunoblockers are 100 eddies.
In the time of the 2070s, they are.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the bear in mind that damn. Okay. So I thought I had an export on immunoblockers. I don't, but that's okay.
It's whatever. I can fabricate some next time if I need it.
Yeah. No, I'm writing them in here really quick, just so we have them. And
you know what's? I just had an idea, and I want to know if I can execute on this.
Mm-hmm.
How similar to 6-gun do immunoblockers look?
I mean, both of them come in air hypos.
Okay.
As far as like the look of the fluid inside, kind of depends. There is a little bit of a difference. 6-gun is mostly clear. Immunoblockers have that hazy green coloration to them. So it's kind of like if you look at it in regular light, you can definitely tell them apart. If you were looking at them under like low light or with, you know, like different colored light applied, they probably wouldn't look all that different.
Because, you know what? I actually have my drained air hypo from when I last used 6-gun.
Yep.
So can I take the capsule from the immunoblockers and put it into the air hypo that I used to inject myself with 6-gun?
Sure, like you can
and
still
I can try
see.
to play it off, like.
So the cartridge is still like clear, right? Like up at the top, because it just forces it through the body of the air hypo. So you'd still be able to see the coloration. That is something you can do though. Like if you didn't want to load it like that, you could.
Because the label would stay the same, right? From when I got it from Waco.
Yeah.
So, and I'm trying to make this look like 6-gun. Like it's a new tech upgraded formula.
Yeah. Give me a moment here, because I'm just typing this in really quick. GM, because otherwise.
Yeah.
Flash drives. Okay. So 500 eddies. Here is your immunoblockers.
Yep, already deducted.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna try to make this look like 6-gun.
Yeah. Thank you for that,
Did.
Jesus. I will import them next time because I'm like I definitely should have had those somewhere. I don't know why I didn't have them, but that's okay. I've got a placeholder. We really only need a placeholder since humanity isn't something that can be modified with a use effect anyway right now, so it's not a big deal. Cool. So yeah, you load up on a dose of immunoblockers. With that said, at this point, are you guys going to catch the metro?
Yep.
Very cool. So, you guys find your way to, Old Japantown. The metro station is about 3 blocks from the old mallplex where Recluse is probably waiting for you. So with that said, let me go ahead and flip our music over here. So at this point, you guys walk the remaining distance, and as always, area around the mall is hauntingly quiet. No one really comes close. And you walk up to that same old ATM terminal sitting by the door. And you know that waiting for you on the other side, more likely than not, is one Recluse.
Yep. All right. Well, boys, enjoy the ride.
Be safe in there, man. We'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. You got it, Jim. And I'm gonna go ahead and jack on in.
All right. So you land back in the same abandoned mallplex looking architecture you've been in now several times. Unlike the last few, though, Recluse is already sitting there. And in front of her, hovering in front of her field of vision, you see several vid screens kind of deployed up in the network. And you can just see aerial views of this large crater in the lower portion of the Ziggurat building as these things hover overhead. And you can hear something that is fairly unnerving because you're used to the stable, serious, put together Recluse. But what you hear as you log in and you see this is she's giggling. Like she's laughing at what she's seeing on the screen.
Hello? Anybody home?
Yeah. Nah, this is... I'm here.
Yeah. So, I said let's talk. Well, we're talking.
We are.
Let's get you.
It's good to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree on that front. There's maybe this is a little too personal to tell you, but really happy to see Ziggurat as a fucking crater. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but had it out for them since the start. Makes my heart skip a beat.
And you see like 4 of her 8 eyes kind of look back over at you as you say that, while the others stay like completely affixed to these monitors. And she says, I thought I chose right. glad to be proven right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I gotta say though, you know, man, I don't know what to say. It's just kind of want to celebrate, you know? I don't know how.
Normally I'd invite you in, but there's a lot of shit between where I am and where you are. And I don't remember how to turn a lot of it off. It's been there so long.
Reckless, please. Remember who you talk. If you want me to, just, you know, I can just go down there and do it myself. You know? Certainly wouldn't be the hardest thing I've done.
And she cuts the vid feeds and then focuses her attention on you. She says, no, that's okay. You've already helped more than you realize.
Yeah. You, I'm gonna look at her. Does she seem like she's hyped up on Six Gun?
It's hard to tell. Because, like, netrunners under Six Gun, you don't really know that they're under Six Gun in a network until they start moving. And then it becomes really quickly obvious. Because, like, unless someone is an extremely talented netrunner, has some very advanced gear, or is hopped up on Six Gun, they are, like, they move a certain speed. You know, their things operate at a particular speed. Once Six Gun's going, it's like they're overclocking their brain. So they start to move much quicker. So it's hard to judge that.
All right. Social engineering it is. So it's been a while. What's been new with you, Choom? I've been it's been a month. What's new with you?
Well, I mean, I'm watching the corporate order finally fall. It's been a long 20 years, and finally, I'm realizing a dream that a friend showed me a long time ago.
Yeah. But I'm more asking about, hey, how's the weather? You know, did you see that game last week? You know, come on, what's new with you? I see shit about world news all the time. You know, only place that ends me up in is a fucking sensory deprivation chamber.
Okay, so we're starting to apply that above table here. Okay, interesting. Go ahead and roll me conversation.
Okay, not great.
Not surprising, but
great.
Okay.
Damn.
So she looks at you and just says, I mean, I've been working on this all month, so I gotta say, it's not like I have a lot else to talk about. I wanted to thank you, though, for making it all possible. Really couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. Well, you know, you told me to think big.
You certainly did.
But, yeah. All right. God, what do I do? This is going nowhere.
Yeah, you can tell, like, she is like it's unnerving you almost a little bit, which is probably why that conversation fell as flat as it did, even with the modifiers that are in play, because she's like, you're used to hearing her talk business, have a plan, and right now it feels almost like she doesn't have one. Like there's nothing behind her anymore, that she just kind of is talking and not really like saying anything or implying like any real emotion behind her words. She just seems like almost blissed out, like she's high.
Oh shit. Okay, there is a direction now I think I can go.
Okay.
So, you're probably where I'm at as well, then, you know? I wanted to see Ziggurat fall for so long, and hell, sounds like you wanted the same. So, where does that leave us, you know? Just a couple of wireheads with nowhere to go.
There's still more work to do. They're the first one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Think every corporation has a walled garden, palace of all its own. They rule it. They get to demand and dictate what happens within it. And all the while, no one else is allowed in. There aren't even back doors. Well, not many. I find them where they are. But with Ziggurat out of the picture, that's all about to change. Walls come tumbling down. Suddenly they find all those tunnels they tried to bury deep, seal off, shut away. I know where they are.
You do? Well, come on. Partner in crime. Don't leave me hanging.
I think you've seen them. Earlier today, I think you've seen a few of them at least. You've seen where the network begins.
Is she talking about when I was looking through the laptop?
Yep. That's like, you get the sense that that's exactly what she's talking about. Things are still wired together. 20 years haven't changed that.
So you're... Put it in English. You want to bring back the old net?
I want to bring back the old order and then burn it. I want the corporations to truly, finally, get their heel off our goddamn throat. I thought we did that 20 years ago, and I learned all too late that what Bart Moss did wasn't going to solve anything. This is the beginning of a real, permanent solution. The old net comes flooding back, the AIs flood through. What happens?
I don't know, you tell me.
Well, the corporations collapse, that's what.
Okay.
Without a net to carry their products, without ads to pollute the masses, we finally get to recontrol our lives. Information is ours to use.
I like it. I just have... If I can just throw in some constructive criticism, there has to be something that allows us, you and I, to still persist in a... We exist as creatures in an ecosystem, correct?
If you could call it that.
But for simplicity's sake, right? You know, we could talk about sociopolitics and, you know, the nature of technology evolving. But for all intents and purposes, we are players within a great and wide food chain that is separate but also inexplicably attached to the capitalist society that we inhabit. Right? And we, for all intents and purposes, feed on that. And so my question to you is, then, because I have a future to think about, right? We have no net. The net is full of rabbits, rogue AIs, etc., etc., etc. And then where does that leave you and I?
Well, we get to bring in the new order. Leaves us on top of the pile at the end of it all. We're the only ones who understand it.
Can you promise that? Can you truly look me in the eye and promise me that? That you can guarantee that you and I, not just you and I, but that the netrunners of the city, the ones who are fighting for our freedoms, or are we just simply deposing an apex predator only for it to be filled in by another apex predator?
Well, there's still Netwatch, but of course, and the vid screen, one of them flickers back to life. Wow.
Netwatch, I assumed, was a part of the whole, or the whole plan. It's like, that's fine. I'm not talking about corpse. I'm talking about what the corpse have created. What the corpse have created is recursive. They just feed into each other. They breed.
What the corpse created is a system where a gardener on the rooftop gets taken out by a sniper because they're using a patented seed. What the corpse have created is starvation, war, famine, farmers without water, people who lose their whole city because someone decided to play God with a virus. That's what the corpse created. They made nuclear weapons that they dropped on each other. I've seen it with my own eyes. And once they get one dropped on them...
You are not answering my question. You have not responded to my question. What replaces them? It's not going to be you and I. That's not what's going to happen. Trust me. We exist as netrunners to take advantage of a fractured system. If we replace it with a perfect system, you and I are never going to win. Unfortunate as it is to say, you and I are exploiters in this system.
Oh boy. Gonna roll something on my end here real quick. I like the commentary, however, me debating how I want to do this. This is how I'll do it.
Oh shit.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. That's
So.
fun. Mm-hmm.
Recluse kind of like looks at you for a moment as you kind of interrupt her like going off essentially. And she says, there will be a fall, but people will get to choose what happens in the aftermath. It'll be an imperfect system right up to the point that it's not. By that time, people will regain their voices, or it all falls apart. Either way, we get to choose our fate. That's the gift I'm offering. That's what the corporations get in the way of. True freedom. So are you with me?
I am with you to the point at which I want a system that works. And you know what I'm hearing from you?
Sense?
I'm hearing that there's zero system. You know what happens when there's zero system? Hierarchy breeds. That's how corps are established. That's how we return to the situation that we're currently in.
Well, not if their comm networks are all out. How do they coordinate?
New comm networks. No. You're thinking a decade in the future. I'm asking you to think bigger. Think a century from now. It's going to be the same, Recluse.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Are you
point
saying
is-
to hell with those people?
I'm saying progress requires sacrifice. And I've given
All
plenty.
right.
So I have to ask you, are you with me or against me? Those are your only options. And I'd hoped that I picked right. At this point, I've been convinced of that. Now you're having me question that. So are you with me or against me? And you start to like see the network around you begin to like shift. Almost a little menacingly as you realize like, okay, like you're still in her domain here.
What's happening in meat space right now?
So in meat space, not much is happening. There's not anything that seems to be coming up. The one thing, so Switch has kind of been monitoring some things on his end with a laptop and a meter. And the one thing he does say to those of you sitting outside is voltage is going up. It's subtle, but something's moving.
All right, just keep an eye on it. We don't want to jump too early. Our wired's still in there, and right now he's the one in the line of fire. So until he says to make a move, we sit tight, enjoy our brews, but keep an eye on that because that's probably going to have to be the lead we chase down.
And I'm thinking in my head, I say I'm with her. Let's go along with it. All right. You know what, actually? Can you give me a second to think on it?
The shift pauses. She says, it's an ask, so I would like to think that the question's pretty simple, though. Don't think too long.
I know, but doesn't it help to have someone who's not just a yes man? I'm just asking that you let me give it a bit of a thought.
And she...
You don't want me just blowing smoke up your ass, do you?
No. And she, like, you know, kind of like moves back patiently. The net seems to hold stable for now. So, do your thinking. What are you thinking?
So, above table.
Yep.
I say no, right? I say no, and best case scenario, I'm able to clear her network. Whatever. That's a big if. That's cool. She's still on the loose, and I don't know if I can flatline her. I don't think I can, because she's not in the same physical location. I know that because of her upgrade.
Were you about to say derez her? I just have to check.
Yeah, I was about to say derez her. Which,
I like that line better.
It is highly implied that Recluse is not exactly human. Anyway, but if I say yes, she's under check and we can continue about our business, and we have the knowledge that at this point, I think it's very fair to say that she is gone off the edge. And I have a better chance of reverse engineering her physical location.
So what did she want?
I'm still in the net.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, well, say your net's down, and you and I are handicapped without it. So, I say let's open source it. Let's open it up to the wireheads and fuck, I mean, we have every wirehead in the city and, you know, in a localized network. No corporation's going to be even able to touch it. It'll be like a bastion of wireheads. Now, wouldn't that be something?
A giant data fortress. That would be something magnificent.
And now there we go. See, Recluse, now you start to see. We need to have a plan. We need to have a direction. We can't just focus on the destruction. That's what I learned with Precinct 1. You know what happened with Precinct 1? There's still pigs out on the streets. Now, when we rebuild, that's a different story. You see where I'm going?
What about the ones that would try to stop us?
Well, ones we try to stop us. I mean, I think you know the answer. You're smart. Come on.
And you can hear that same, like, small giggle in her voice as she kind of backs up and says, yep, I know exactly what'll happen to them. Same thing that happened to that Netwatch unit. I'll burn.
Yeah. Now, hate to be the downer on this whole thing, but you remember like a month ago, I uploaded that database to you?
Oh, today wouldn't have been possible without it. How could I forget?
Yeah. Well, you know, I really would like to have it, if you don't mind. Pretty pleased with the cherry on top.
And for a moment, Recluse pauses. And you get this, like, weird feeling like she's considering what could happen if she gives it to you. Like, you get that, like, pondering pause. Roll me persuasion.
She said it herself. Today wouldn't have happened without me.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
So she says, I suppose I could give you a few morsels. Little taste.
Few morsels. A few morsels?
Few morsels.
Come on. Why are you drip feeding me?
I mean, I can't spoil all the surprises. It loses its entertainment value like that. And it makes all kinds of annoying little liabilities if somehow they drag it out of your skull.
Like that would happen. Come on.
You haven't had friends tortured at the hands of Arasaka. Remember, you said it yourself. Think bigger.
Last time I checked, you said that. I was just parroting you. But whatever.
Then allow me to remind you right now. Think bigger. The moment we start pushing for a new order, the powerful are the first to hit back, and Arasaka is far from out of the fight. As a matter of fact, I think they're coming closer. The coastline is probably in sight about now for them.
Yeah. Say, you remember I texted you to bringing brewskis?
Mm.
Well, brought you something. You know, as a treat. If you want it.
I mean, who am I to reject a gift? And with a hiss, all of you hear the thunk of a pneumatic tube getting dropped next to the ATM.
I'm gonna take the immunoblockers that are labeled fix gun.
Hmm?
Just drop it in. You mentioned about wanting to go fast. This might be able to help.
I'm excited to see what you brought me. And with that, you just hear the as that pneumatic tube gets sucked up into the internals of the building. And I'm going to roll something.
Well, as that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
cause do we have line of sight on this, right?
You do,
Like
yeah.
we see the tube
you
drop
see
down?
you see the pneumatic tube drop down next to the ATM. Yeah.
As we're gonna call a light up, and I'm gonna whisper to Switch that's next to me. That has to lead back to her, right? We can follow that, right?
I mean, theoretically, it goes into the building though. That's it's tricky. I mean, it could cut through the walls. It could. I mean, it's not electronic. It's all pressure.
Could throw a bug in there.
Mm-hmm. That was my thought. I was actually wondering, but I don't think I have one on me because we used it when I had only bought the one. If I had the Doberman tracking scent, toss that up in there.
Well, the other thing is, I believe Matchlight still has his bug on his fingernail.
Oh, that's true. He's got the removable fingernail.
Yeah, he's got one of his cyber fingers has a tracker on the fingernail. You can just pluck off and drop.
I don't think it's worth risking sending something in the tube, but that's good for later because we can still use that as we can still force it through the tube and then check it on the other end, find out where it ends up just by shooting that through it at a later date if we need to.
Yep. And before she can say anything, I'm just gonna say, well, it's been a long day. I'm gonna go catch some shut-eye, but we'll talk later.
Yeah, definitely. And you see her eyes kind of blink in the net as you from the outside you can hear the very faint thunk of the pneumatic tube reaching whatever other end it has. And moments later you just see her eyes kind of close kind of blissfully as she is presumably injecting what you brought her. And then all of a sudden she kind of snaps her eyes open and she looks and she's, when did you get here?
There we go. Okay. And, all right, it worked. And so I'm there's no recognition from her voice. And actually, you know what? I'm going to ask her, what's the last thing you remember?
I saw your upload. It came through and I was reading it and then I don't remember.
So Recluse, you at this point, you're my chum, right? I'm going to tell you everything that has happened. But do you want the long version or the short version? I can keep it short and sweet for you.
Tell me everything.
And I'm going to tell her the events leading up since the Atlantis.
Okay, yeah. And so she says, okay, but I mean, hold on. Because you fill her in, on like even what happened with Ziggurat earlier today.
No, I'm going to exclude that detail out of it. I'm just going to tell her, you were on the edge, my friend. As someone who has been on the edge, you were on the edge. Okay? So I'm going to tell you as your friend and for your help, you need to find a way to get some therapy.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you why or what made me think of that. Because honestly, it's better for your mental health that you don't know. So I need you to trust me on that front, okay? But I will give you the money to go get therapy. But you need to go get therapy. Please.
I want to promise that that's gonna happen.
What do you need to make that happen?
I need to.
What do you need?
I need to get out of here.
What do you mean?
Here, this might make it easier to explain. And you suddenly see a bunch of lines of script pop up in your vision that dictates you've been handed several control nodes from a system admin, all of which control cameras.
Okay. All right, let's flip through.
So the first thing that you see is the inside of this mallplex, and you see crawling all over the inside of this thing are a bunch of small spider-like drones. Some of them are carrying bits of, like you can see one is carrying a pneumatic tube away from a room. There are a few others that appear to be kind of tied up on what appear to be server racks. They seem to be like switching around modules or things like that, or patching connections, things like that. The next cam that you flip over to, though, you see where you might expect to see a netrunner. Instead, you see a biosystem plugged in among a half dozen servers, all of which are being tended to by these tiny drones.
Shit. Okay. Got it. Okay. I'm gonna tell her right now. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. All right? I know medtechs, they know how to keep their fucking mouth shut. And if they don't, then, shit happens to them. So they will keep your secret. Okay?
It's not that. There are things in here. I set them up 20 years ago. I don't remember where all of their off switches are. I don't know how to turn it all off. They would die. They would die.
Okay. I will make sure personally that doesn't happen. Okay? If I can do that, come on, you know me. You know I can do that. Will you let me do that? Please. I'm worried about you.
Roll me persuasion.
All right. God damn it.
So she looks over at you in the net and she says, as much as I want to say yes, we both know you could just as easily die as get it done.
Yeah. You don't think I don't know that?
Enough people have died for me. I'm tired of that. I don't want to add your body to the list.
Oh my god.
So my question to you, Charlie, is the entire time he's been talking to her, is he talking also in meat space or just in the net?
So you would be able to hear his side of the conversation, but not hers.
Okay, so at this point, I can hear you saying like that you want to help, and I'm like, that's it. Fuck this shit. I'm going in, and I'm gonna step foot into the fucking building.
So you're gonna kick open the
All right.
door? Okay.
Recluse, I'm gonna go through your net, okay?
Wait. And you get some like genuine hesitation from her. I don't think you want to.
Oh, I really want to.
All right.
I've never wanted to do anything more in my fucking life.
All right.
I just want to note that when Cell like moves up and starts going in and moving the door, I'm like half-heartedly trying to stop. I'm like, Cell, wait, man, wait, it's not time yet. But I'm like racking my shotgun and lining up to back him up.
I'm gonna look back at him. All right, guys, this turned into a fucking rescue mission. All right, she's temporarily back from the edge, but not for long, and we need to get her therapy. Fuck it's that.
Oh boy. All right. Well,
And on that note, I will whistle for our tech to guide us along the wire that he noticed earlier.
Yeah, sounds good. So he's going to take the voltimeter and kind of follow along the wall. And that is where we're going to end for this week, with you guys walking into the lion's den here.
Ooh.
Oh,
right, I'm gonna switch to my phone here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second, fellas.
Yep. Oh, good shit.
What a ride.
Yeah. A little bit more talking this time around. A little back and forth. All that said,
I got my bit of bullying in. I'm happy.
you slammed a dude against the wall and turned him into paste. That's all that really needed to happen. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Bet you now watch you don't come into my bar again.
All right. Well, Nyla's going to be back shortly. For those of you on YouTube, this is where we are going to call it for this week. So if you're here with us on Twitch Live, which any of you watching this after the fact, you should come and do that with us, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time every Monday, as long as everyone gets here. But for those of you on Twitch, we will be back shortly for our little after game chat. For those of you on YouTube, we will see you all next week. But yeah, if you're live with us, just hold on. We'll be right back. Peace, guys.